Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Trials of the Damned here on the Initiative Order. Before we get into tonight's session, we have a few announcements that we need to take care of. First of all, some upcoming games in the near future. We have on Saturday, this coming Saturday, the 24th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we have Adventures in Cinder Hollow, a Humblewood 5e one-shot ran by the illustrious DM Joshua Blake, also known as NPC Voices, in November, on top of all of the community games that we'll be doing, which you can find on our Discord. We are also running another episode of Carnaby Street Case Files, which will be on Saturday, November 14th at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then the following week, the next Trial of the Damned will take place on Thursday, November 19th at this time, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard. You guys can catch all of the latest updates and news both at our Instagram and our Discord, where you can chat with other members of the Initiative Order community. You can hop in some community games that are free, by the way. You don't have to pay for them. And talk D&D, talk Mork Borg, talk Call of Cthulhu, basically any game system that you guys want. We have a big discount for the rest of this month. Free League is giving 20% off anything in their store, so you can head over to the Free League store, use code VOID, VOID 10 for 20% off your orders. And then special shout out to our sponsor, Session Zero Clothing, who has been so generous to give us a 10% off for all of our fans. So go to the Session Zero Clothing website and type in code TIO 10 for 10% off any of your orders. Awesome. Without further ado, we are going to get into this episode of the Trials of the Damned. The city of Galgenbeck, one of the largest and most prominent cities in the known world, is littered with blood and the corpses of the fallen. Corpses twisted, inhumane things. A goblin isn't an attractive sight on a good day, and a dead goblin is truly distasteful. Their molted, ropey flesh rots, but never decomposes fully. Even the oldest of skins on the Galgenbeck street show only the slightest form of decay, and the alleyways hold their shape to warn passersby of their swiftly approaching end. There's also the Living Goblins, probably the bigger issue in Galgenbeck these days. They crawl inside basements, through sewers, nest within cupboards, use dogs for target practice, and generally wreak havoc upon the hapless Galgenbeckians. More and more townsfolk appear to be afflicted with the dreaded Goblin Curse. Only a few short days after being attacked by a goblin, if one survives, does one turn into a goblin themselves. With such a large infestation of these little scoundrels, it's becoming very difficult to figure out which one to snuff, saving yourself from becoming one of them. Not to worry, however. For the low cost of 40 silver, local alchemist Nagel Krat has the cure. Until tomorrow, when the prices rise. And the day after that. And the day after that. Our story begins on the outskirts of the city of Galgenbeck. You, the damned, came back to the city to rest, recoup, and spend the money that you have so oh my gosh, I just forgot the word. Spend the money that you have so eagerly earned. That's not the word, but we'll go with that. Upon reaching the outskirts of the city, a palanquin comes out of the gates. The curtain opens, and a hand beckons to you.
does he look like?
The hand, you can see the fingers long, the nails very masterfully painted and well kept. The hand, while wrinkled from age, is supple and looks soft. Make a presence check for me.
Hey. 19.
19. Judging by how soft the skin looks, you would assume this to be only some sort of noble.
Well, if there's one thing that Törn knows, it's the nobles have money, so she will eagerly follow these beckoning fingers.
And the rest of you?
I follow slowly behind, but a short distance, and as I'm like creepily walking up behind her, my movement kind of, even though I am walking on two legs, it's more of like billowing smoke through a room.
Did you say these fingernails were shiny?
They could be considered that.
That would follow the fingernails.
I'm gonna wait for everyone else to go. I'll go last.
I'll go.
There.
I'll follow.
As you approach and pull apart the curtains of this palanquin, you see a woman, tall and elegant, but scrunched into this structure, or into this palanquin. Her knees go up to her chest as she's sitting there, almost like a the best way I would say it is like a hag sitting on her haunches. However, she's not hag-like. She is elegant, wearing a nice silk dress adorned with rubies and diamonds and different sorts of gems. Her hair well kept and shining. Her face covered in makeup, partially to disguise her age, but also to show her wealth and status. I see you are well equipped. Have you heard of the goblins in town?
We have.
Oh yes, I've heard. I've seen.
This man, a Nechrubel, some petty alchemist, he has a cure for this curse. I don't know how he got one, but I have a suspicion that he may be up to no good.
Are you in need of a cure?
Not yet, but it is always good to be careful. Goblins aren't one to be trifled with.
I would suspect that someone like you could easily afford it, though.
Oh, I could for the right price, if it is indeed a cure, which I'm very skeptical of, like I said.
So you want us to try it first, is what you're telling me.
It's probably not a cure.
Regardless, if the five of you happen to make your way into the city and find yourself outside of Nechrubel's alchemy shop, then perhaps you go in and see for yourself, or see from me.
What? Why should we help you?
Sounds like a complete and utter waste of time.
Unless, of course, there's to be financial compensation.
Oh yes, you would have to pay. We're not paying.
Oh, no. If this indeed is a cure, I wish for you to procure me a couple of vials of it. You'll be rewarded handsomely when you do. And she snaps her fingers, and as she does, the palanquin is lowered for a second, and one of the men trots around with a bag of silver.
Well, shit, why didn't you say so? She's
This-
gonna try to reach for it.
And the hands. Go ahead and make me an agility test.
Okay. 8?
8. As you go to reach your hand out, the man holding the bag recoils his hands. This money will be given to you on one of two conditions. One, the first, being that Nechrubel's cure is indeed a cure, and isn't some ruse or falsehood, and that you get me 2 vials like I asked. The second condition is that if this is not a ruse, or if this is a ruse, my apologies, that you should find out what Krat's true purposes are. And if you can, stop him.
And then how much
Fine.
will we be paid?
I could... 5 of you. 250 silver pieces for the
Each?
lot. For the lot, which would be 50 silver pieces per head.
50 silver per head. Let's see. So you said that Mr. Kraft is selling this currently for 40 silver, correct? This cure?
Correct.
And if we are to go on this goose chase, excuse me, goose, for you, and a few of our number are to be afflicted, and we have to cure ourselves, then that's 40 down the drain each. So you are paying us 10 silver for a fool's errand.
She's smart. She has good brain.
Go ahead and roll me a presence check.
Me?
No, I'm sorry. Torn.
15.
15. She sits there and kind of thinks to herself for a second before ushering one of her palanquin handlers over and whispering in his ear. And you watch as he goes around back and flips open what looks like some sort of crate or chest that's sitting on the back and starts going through it. I believe I could do 100 silver each.
Oh. Well, for 100, you bet.
Plus
Sounds
the
good to me.
Plus the cost of procuring silver from Krat himself.
Oh, yes, I would be paying you for whatever cure you brought back to me. Yes. I'd be compensating you for that.
Expenses paid trip to the city.
And what should we call you, kind patron?
I am Jota Kleffenheim. Of Kleffenheim.
How do you get the of in your name?
You're born with a silver spoon in your mouth in Kleffenheim.
I see.
Yes.
Makes you
I
all-
do not know of Kleffenheim, but Nechrubel knows all, so I'm sure you'll meet eventually.
I'm sure. Theros, do a presence check for me.
That would be a natural 20.
A natural 20. You would know that Kleffenheim similar to where you grew up, was on the same continent, and when the seas overtook the land, the people of Kleffenheim and your people sought refuge here.
Okay. I know of the place. I'm very sorry for your loss.
She smiles and nods. I'm glad I'm not the only one that has made it off that dung heap of an island.
Well, it is a pleasure doing business with you. And as Mörkret smiles wide, she shows like a mouthful of black rotted teeth, and you see a little spider like just crawl across the white of her eyes.
She recoils a little. My estate is only about a day and a half journey from here, in the foothills. You can find me there when your job is complete.
Wonderful. Well, let's be off.
Ladies.
Just to be safe, I want Porgy to bite the other guy in the leg.
Okay.
And then turn to her and say, "Don't fuck with us, because I will bring him back, and he will bite even more."
And shit on your estate.
I should probably actually roll to do some damage.
Yeah, let's see what. Go ahead and roll a d20. See if your pup.
I got an 10. A 10.
A 10. He bites out, but grabs the leg, but his teeth don't go through, almost like a play bite. And then he rolls over on his back and shows the dude his belly, and he reaches down. And noted. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you when you get to my estate.
You have so many animals.
She snaps her fingers and closes the curtains, and her palanquin handlers pick up the palanquin on their shoulders and start walking out of town, or farther out toward her estate.
How far away from the city gates?
You guys are maybe about 10 minutes or so out, not very far.
So how bad do we know of this goblin infestation?
You had heard tale of it back when it had first started, and one or two goblins, while bad, is usually something that's able to be handled by, especially in Galgenbeck, by the guards. However, by the time that you get here, and even looking at the city, there are portions of the city that are ablaze. You can hear cries for help. You can hear, like, it's chaos.
From Galgenbeck.
You are from Galgenbeck.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd know that if...
Homecoming?
Hmm?
Super fun homecoming?
Ah, yes. I love coming home, but I especially love coming home when it's on fire, because that means something's going on.
A dull moment.
I enjoy fires. So where do we find this antidote?
An alchemist? Do I know where this alchemist shop would be?
Yes, you'd know that Nechrubel's shop, also called the medical shop in town, is a small alchemist, essentially an alchemist shack in the eastern ward of the city.
I know where shop is, so it's just on the east side. It's just gotta be a little short walk, but there might be goblins, lots of goblins. Gotta be on the lookout.
Ugh.
Love.
Fine. And we walk.
I stamp my staff made of femur bones on the ground, and I whisk cheerily down the street.
As you and the rest of your group whisk cheerfully down the street, can you do me a favor and roll a D100 for me? 80. You make it maybe about, and Galgenbeck's big. It's a huge city. The wards are, the size of, like, it would be equivalent to going to, like, Minas Tirith in Lord of the Rings, give or take. There aren't many city settlements, so the ones that are there are massive in proportion to the land around them. So as you're walking through the street, you maybe get about a half hour in, making your way through the center ward into the very central of town square, and you see off in the distance a handful of shortish creatures, very gaunt and unclothed, kind of dart across the other side into an alleyway.
Did anybody else see that?
Do we see them?
Did I see that?
After pointing it out, you saw the back end of them dipping into the alley, and then you wait a second, and you watch as one of them almost kind of peers out from the darkness, and you can see the elongated nose, the very sunken-in eyes, the little bit of that matted kind of wet hair on the top of their head that's all stringy, and then one ear is long or kind of longer and pointed, and the other looks like it has been chopped or bitten at the top.
I get a habit to not see things like that unless I'm being paid to.
How narrow is the alleyway?
Maybe about, at the most, like 10 feet across. But it looks like it's 10 feet and then starts to narrow in toward the back.
Can we easily avoid it by just walking around?
Looks like it, yeah. They're on the far end, so this town center, or the main town square of Galgenbeck is big. It's not like a normal town square where you can see everything and everything's like a 2-second walk. This is like, you're talking like 5 minutes across. And you're just catching a glimpse of it on the far end. So yes, easily avoidable.
Yeah. That looks like a trap if I've ever seen one.
I would agree. And
They weren't lying about the goblins, though.
No. Many goblins, lots of places, so many places, goblins. Fire! Goblins start fire.
Avoid confrontation unless absolutely necessary.
Oh, you guys, so smart, so pretty, so happy to be around.
You continue on your way?
yeah.
All right. As you continue, this time, everybody give me an agility check, please.
Nine.
13.
13. Theros? 5. Theros, what'd you get?
11.
11. And Mörkret?
16.
16. Attempting your best to be stealthy, using the knowledge that Vat has to work your way throughout the city, you eventually, collectively, there are a few close calls in the near vicinity as goblins hop from rooftop to rooftop or slink into nearby sewers, but they see a combination of this winehandler on the back of Gotven, who's holding her tombstones in either hand, Theros on her giant horse with her corgi kind of running around barking at goblins as they run by. You do see goblins eye the corgi a little bit, like, every once in a while as you're riding by, and it makes a yip or a bark, but they don't make a move on him quite yet. But you look like you feel safe, though you can tell there are dozens, if not hundreds, of goblins in the nearby vicinity. You travel for maybe about another 10 or 15 minutes, and you hear some shouting in the distance. Getting closer, you see a small shack, maybe about 30 feet or so in width, with a growing crowd in front of it. A woman in black shawl and a leather apron with a shovel strapped onto her back, and a wheelbarrow sitting out in front of her stands at the door. You approach and get closer. We need the cure. Give it to us. Let us in. We need to see Krat. My children have been attacked. I need this now. And just the various echoes for this, whatever this cure is that Nechrubel has.
Well, we're at the right place.
I would like to.
Popular.
I would like to go up to the man and his child. You said the child's there?
Yes.
I take out a vial and I pour it on the child's head so that a little bit can get in its mouth. And I say, there! Now your child can walk on walls!
The father looks at you confused. That's not what he needs. And the kid kind of his eyes, the kid kind of his eyes wide is like, what? And like breaks free of his dad really quick and like runs over to a nearby building and starts to climb up the wall and like climbs onto the roof.
He peers into the night.
I look at the father and I just like, have fun.
And he's,
Dirty.
you know, he was
I wanna
attacked
push
by a
through.
goblin. What?
Oh no. I want to push through everyone.
What do you want, Fat?
2 silver, please.
What?
I made your child happy. 2 silver, please.
He's going to turn into a goblin in a matter of days.
He'll be a goblin who can walk on walls and he's happy. 2 silver.
Roll a presence check.
11.
11. You watch as he just disgustfully looks at you and he's like, oh, fuck this, I need to get my son, who is now like Spider-Man jumping from roof to roof. And in the distance, as he's like running and jumping, you see a couple heads peep up way out in the distance, but it looks like he's going in that direction, and the father's running after him. Trem, get back here. Come on. We need to get this cure so you don't turn into a goblin, and then I'll, yeah, I can't tell you what I'm gonna do next. And his voice just kind of trails off. And
Well, he's going to need to be able to run, or else he's going to end up on a pitchfork.
Sometimes you just gotta have a little fun, even if you're gonna be dead. You know, it's my philosophy.
Theros, did you
Listen,
want
if
to
he's going to die of being a goblin, you might as well give him a running head start.
Smart. So smart.
I'm gonna push
Honestly,
through the
I would
crowd,
have charged him for.
get to the door, knock, and then.
Before you can get to the door and knock, the woman who is holding, or who has the shovel on her back and the wheelbarrow in front of you, kind of steps in front of you. And, what's your business with Mr. Krat?
I would like to speak with him. I think he would be very pleased to know that Theros, the Queen of Sudlands, the Southern Empire, to be specific, would like to speak with him immediately.
Here,
Go.
here.
Important lady!
Go ahead and roll a presence check for me.
And I'm using my horse for that +2.
All
If
right.
I count as a
Behind you,
creature.
as you ride up, the horse just puffs up its chest in very distinguished pose, like the horse from El Dorado.
16.
What, 16 you said?
Yes.
She looks at you and, And she opens the door. Krat! There's a woman from Queen of some southern empire here to have a word with you. And Krat says, "Oh, okay. Yeah. Let her in, I guess. If she's here to buy a cure, then of course she's more than welcome." And you hear him kind of under his breath, "Probably has lots of money too." And the woman's like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." And she pushes the door open. Right this way, your
And my
grace.
friends will be coming in with me.
Oh, of course. A queen needs her entourage.
Oh no, they're not an entourage, they're friends. It's a difference.
I'm not
Come
afraid.
on.
Whatever you say.
I have no friends.
Oh, then you can stay outside.
Are there still
No.
Are there still people gathered up around outside?
Yeah, there's probably now what started at maybe about a dozen has now grown to maybe about 20 to 30.
Okay.
Some of them hurt, some of them hurt or injured. Other of them look like they haven't slept in a few days. Some look pretty awake and Adam and just eager to get into Krat's store to potentially for a chance to get this cure. So who's going in? Theros? And anyone else?
I'll go in too, because
I'll go
I just don't want to be in the crowd of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotven.
I will follow.
I will give Theros a little nod, like, you go ahead, and try to blend back into the crowd. Talk to some of these people.
Okay. Cool. So the three of you, Mörkret, I hear that you said you were going in as well, or are you going to stay outside?
I am going in.
Okay. So the four of you head inside while Törn, you stay out to do some recon. We'll start with you first. What specifically would you like to do?
Me?
Yes. Törn. You're muted.
I would like to find maybe one of the less desperate looking people and strike up a little conversation with them.
Okay. You find a man who is with what looks to be his wife or his girlfriend or something of that nature, standing there. The woman appears to be with child, and just looking the man up and down, he has a coin purse hanging off his side that seems to be a little bit heftier than what common folk would have.
How long have you been waiting here?
If you, this is our 4th day.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
I don't know who that bitch on the horse was, but she just walks up in here and gets to go in and I have a wife who's stricken, who needs the cure now, and she just gets to walk in and say she's a queen and get to it before I do.
Oh, yeah, that's different, isn't it? Do you actually know anyone who's taken this cure?
He kind of sits there and thinks, really, a second. And the wife speaks up. My cousin Arn did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, about a 10-day ago.
And where is she now?
Now that you mention it, I haven't seen her in a few days. We don't live very close. We live up in the North Ward, and she lives in the West Ward.
You know, I shouldn't say. It's not good to speak well. heard that perhaps the cure is fake. You wouldn't have happened to hear anything about that, would you?
What do you mean a fake? Like it doesn't
Like
work?
it doesn't work. Like, Nagel is just crept in to take all our money. It's going to, crept right back out when he's done.
Huh.
I'm sure it's not true.
You watch as doubt starts to, you can obviously see the visual doubt over the faces of the couple. And the husband just kind of whispers over to his wife. If that's true, then I guess there's nothing I can do to prevent this.
Well, maybe someone knows something. We could ask all the rest of these people. Why don't we?
Okay.
I'd start tapping on the shoulders of people around us. Do you know anyone who's taken the cure? Do you know anyone who's taken the cure?
So as you start to circulate, you get a handful of no's. You get some that are like, maybe, like my neighbor, but like not really sure. But the ones that that give you a solid, yeah, I know somebody. The one thing that they all have in common is that after the person took it, they saw him maybe once or twice the following day or two, but then nothing.
All right, if possible, I would just like to get the home address of one or two of the closer cure takers.
Okay. Yeah. So
I
you.
need to give you some presents, or will they just?
I'll say yeah. Give me a presents, because.
Houses.
Yeah, let's give me a presents, because I have a feeling, as much as I want to give you the information, I don't think these people would necessarily give you the house information of their family and friends. Just some.
That's fine. I got a 9.
A 9. You get a lot of people who don't. They kind of like, oh, like the North Ward that way, and like point. You do get one who lives in the East Ward, where you guys are currently at, and they live maybe 3 or 4 blocks away.
I will hang around outside for Theros and her entourage of friends.
Awesome. So as you hang out and continue to mingle with these people and learn information, the rest of you head inside of Nechrubel's shop. It smells. You get the first thing you smell is this metallic taste, like almost like you get this metallic taste in the back of your tongue and like into your nose. It almost like very iron rich. The shelves are brimmed or just stacked full with this concoction that is this kind of green ichor mixed with different specks to make it looking kind of shiny and sparkly. Behind the counter, you see a man in a similar leather apron, but it's more of like the front part is the leather apron, but it works its way into a set of leather armor, goggles over his head, his hair kind of frazzled and all over the place. He's got little pouches and vials all over his body. Hello, welcome to my shop. I'm Nechrubel. How can I help you, Your Grace? And he bows his head really low toward you, Theros.
You can stand. We would like your cure, please. But I don't want to pay for it until I know if it works.
Well, it does work, I can assure you. How would you? You'd have to be cursed in order to use it, or use it to be effective at least. Are you cursed?
Does it only work on the Goblin Curse?
correct, yes. Once you're inflicted with the Goblin Curse, you come here, you take one of my antidotes, and you're cured. Simple as that.
How did you come to find this cure?
Simple. I studied the Goblin and the Goblin Curse with my adopted father. We run the mill up the street, and he taught me everything I know, and with his help, I was able to create this cure.
Well, seeing as how we need to see if it works, and you seem to be in such high demand looking outside, perhaps we can test it on someone.
Of course. Karg, would you be a dear, and I need one person who is afflicted with the curse. And she just nods her head and walks. The one thing you notice is when she came in with you guys, she kind of stood at the door with her back to it. She did bring in the wheelbarrow that she had with her as well. But she opens the door and steps out. And, you, come here. You by yourself? And the man kind of nods and walks up the stairs. It's a young boy, maybe early teens.
What does he look like? How can we tell that he's been afflicted?
So the curse is more of a there's very little physical sign to tell if somebody's truly been afflicted with the Goblin Curse. It's more of like a verbal curse, like that a witch would put on you or something of that nature. The one thing you can tell is where the wound is the wound is typically infected quickly after being attacked. So as he comes in, you see him roll up his sleeve, and he has a giant scar that goes from like his wrist up toward the back of his elbow.
And what is your name? I say to the...
My name is Svind.
Svind. Do you live nearby?
No, about a half hour or so trek into the center ward.
Center ward, you say? And I'm I'm taking notes so we could follow him later to check up and see if it works.
Okay. Nechrubel looks at him. Do you have coin, boy? The cure doesn't pay for itself. I need research and I need supplies. 40 silver, and he's yes. This is the last of what I have. I have a little left over at home.
I will pay for it.
And he looks at you and up on the horse, and he sees your crown and just bows slightly. And yes, your grace, queen, your grace, and puts his coin purse back.
And then I'll just put the 40 on the... I jump off the horse. I don't think I would still be on the horse, but I jump off, put it on the counter. Don't make this boy pay for the cure because we want to see that it works.
I am not even paying attention to anything that's going on. I am looking at every single vial in this shop with great intensity.
Yeah, so there are five vials while that's happening that you can see. Go ahead and roll a presence check.
Natural 20.
All right, so the only ones you can't get to are the vials with the Goblin Curse. They're behind the shelf. They're specifically stocked there. But you see a few things. You see a shelf of vials labeled flash powder, and looking at it and smelling it really quick, seems like it would do what it says, like a little mini flashbang of sorts. You knowing how to mix and make concoctions and different things would recognize that.
I take one or two.
You take one or two
splash powder.
Stealing-y?
Stealingly, while everyone's like, I'll pay for the thing. I'm a queen, and I'm like.
Go ahead and give me a agility test, please. 18. You manage to grab them and put them into your Herbmaster's kit that you have before heading over to the next shelf, where you see the label says healing tinctures. Do you wish to inspect those?
No. I know what those do. I'm not interested.
Okay. The third shelf, you move on. It says Invigorating Elixir on it.
I would like one. I would like to try to steal one.
Okay. Give me another agility test, please.
Nat 20.
Again. Man, these are okay. You managed to grab one and very stealthily, while everybody else is distracted by the performance that Theros is putting on to pay for this child's cure. You grab another one and then move on to the fourth and final shelf. This one isn't labeled, but the vial inside of it, or the vials are a little bit larger than a normal vial. And they have this almost like yellowy orange mixture in it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not able to identify if there isn't any sign that says what it is, at least by looking at it.
Mm-hmm. I would like to open it and like smell it, and is it like viscous or?
You open it and you smell it, and sweetness immediately hits your nose with a hint of cinnamon.
Oh, I drink it.
Okay. You drink, and you down it real quick, and you kind of one big gulp, and this is some pretty good apple cider.
I leave him on the shelf. If nothing happens to me, I leave him on the shelf.
Yeah, a moment goes by, you wait, you're like waiting for something to kick in. You're like, man, nothing that tastes this good couldn't, like, it should have a side effect. Nothing.
Useless to me. But you delicious, absolutely yummy. My compliments to the chef.
You head back as Theros is paying for the cure. The boy quickly opens it and drinks it. And what do I do now? And Krat just, you go home, rest, relax. It'll take a little bit before it kicks in. Once it does, then you'll be fine. Just don't interact with any more goblins, or else you'll have to come here and buy another one.
How long until it kicks in?
This science isn't perfect. Anywhere from a few hours to a day or so.
I go up to this kid and I kind of like just pull his eyelid open and just take a quick look at his irises. I'm like checking him out. Has he changed in any way?
Not that you can tell, no.
Okay.
He seems pretty A-okay. I mean, obviously he has the giant scar that's a bit infected on the outsides of it. But he looks physically a little tired, but fine.
Smells like bullshit to me.
That just might be him.
Gotven goes back to just zoning out. She just looks out the entrance door to see what Törn is doing.
Okay. As you look out,
Can I see Gotven through the window?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're still mingling and talking, but like you're keeping a watchful eye, and you guys kind of make that eye contact and just nod to each other, and you continue to go about networking.
Oh no, I'm making faces at Gotven through the window.
Oh, all right.
Like,
Well, are we just gonna sit here and wait?
The boy kind of, once he gets secure and you check him out, is like, looks around and just kind of slowly dips out of the... He's like, thank you. Your queenly grace. And runs out of the shop. You watch as he runs out. Törn, you can see him run down the street toward the center of town.
We're gonna need a few more vials.
I'm sure. Yes. How many exactly would you like?
I would say just a couple more.
Okay.
Ferris.
Need 2, and I would like a discount if we're going to buy this many bottles, please.
For 2.
Well, I bought a third one, didn't I?
Technically, that was... Sure, why not? I can do... It's 40 silver typically for the 2. I could give you them for... 30 silver? Buy one, get one half off.
Mm. Can I see if there's any, while this is happening, if like I see any bookkeeping scrolls, things that might have like where he keeps his ingredients for what's in these vials?
Yeah, go ahead and give me a presence check.
And in the meantime, I'm looking over at that, and I'm kind of like pointing at her, pointing at the horse, pointing at the higher shelf with the vials on it.
I walk up to the horse.
Okay.
Is it a nice horse?
It turns around, it turns its head around as you walk up behind it and goes, "Good day."
The horse talks?
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that the horse does talk, yes.
Is this normal? Would this freak me out?
Yes, you would have traveled with Theros enough. All of you guys would have traveled with Theros enough to know that Barbister, the Barbister, which is the horse's name, is indeed a talking horse, and he's an asshole.
Good
Mostly to Theros, but
good day to you, Barbister. I would like to get on your back.
he leans down and whispers in your ear, is this going to be something that embarrasses her queenlyship in front of this fine gentleman who is selling his wares?
Perhaps.
Go for it.
I climb onto the back of this horse.
Okay.
And I sit very, very queenly for a second, and then I turn to the vials.
Okay, so you sit very queenly, and as you do, you turn toward the vials. Are you attempting to steal one, or are you just attempting to look at them?
I just want to take a glance.
Cool. Go ahead and give me a presence check then.
4.
A 4. Looks pretty normal. Looks like a potential cure. Your occultist herb mastery senses aren't pinging at all.
They're not tingling. Would that check have included whether or not I could tell what's in them?
From what you can see, it's that kind of greenish sheen with some sparkles in it.
But, like, I wouldn't know what would make that effect.
No, not with your form.
Well, I'm going to sit on the horse anyway.
Okay.
I rolled a dirty 20 on that presence check over here.
Which was for, I'm sorry, for the books and stuff.
Finding, yeah.
You see a ledger, and kind of just glancing up and over the counter, you see the current, what looks to be the current stock in building, and then you see on a separate page the amount of supplies and usable stock that seems to be off-site.
Does it say where off-site?
Yes, it says the mill.
The mill. And any specific items in that?
In the mix?
Yes.
Other than a handful of silver, some quill and ink, you do notice behind the counter there's also a chest, maybe about 2 or 3 feet wide, about a foot high, and about 2 feet deep.
Okay. I'll just take note of where the off-site things might be for later.
Okay. Who's paying this fine gentleman? It's 30 silver.
Her Majesty.
The horse, of course.
I'll pay for it. I'll just keep paying for it. I'll just...
All right. So you...
Yes, my lady. Take the tab.
You hand over 30 silver pieces to this fine gentleman. He gives you 2 of the cures.
Make sure to get a receipt for Jotun so we can be reimbursed. Thank you.
Oh, sure. And he grabs the ink, dips it in, and very quickly scribbles a transaction receipt saying that these were worth 30 silver pieces, and that you received 2 vials. He writes a second copy
Like
for
they were
himself.
worth 40. Sorry, I'm outside.
I'll grab it.
Oh, wow. I really undercutted you guys. Oh, man. Wow. That's what happens when the Fate Master forgets.
30.
Oh, man. You guys got to steal.
Oh, yeah. You think we were going to say something?
No, I realize that now. Oh, God. That's fine. But you get your receipt and you head out of the shop, meeting back up with Törn as you do so.
Does anybody have ink and a quill I could use? I want to make it look like I paid the total $80, so she pays us the full price back.
I have bug powder.
And by dollars, I mean gold coins. Honestly, if we could make that work.
I'm sure if you just spit in it a little bit, it's kind of like ink, right?
Dig in my pouch past the teeth and past the infernal scrolls. Do I have a little bit of ink?
Roll me a D100.
33.
33. Yeah, you have some ink.
Okay.
Not a
I'll
whole
help
lot.
Theris.
It's kind of dried and caked on the side of the vial, but it'll do.
I'll help Theris do that thing where you make the 3 into an 8. Perfect.
Give me...
Törn has definitely done this before.
Törn, go ahead and give me an agility check with advantage since you're helping. Theros.
You can easily turn an S into a squiggly G. And then they become gold pieces.
Ooh, I will try that too because I got a natural 20.
Okay. Unfortunately, what you know, there's no gold. There's no gold currency in the world of Mork Borg. Only silver. But you do.
Oh.
But you do change the 3 into an 8. So now it is exactly, and it's doesn't look like there's any difference in the texture. It's nice and flat, so it looks like it was written at the same time. You hold the whole 9, and you do now have a receipt for 80 silver.
Theris, I don't know if I've ever been prouder of you, my darling. So,
Thank you.
what we got?
I was asking Törn if they found anything outside.
Oh, whole lot of nothing, gotta say. No one, well, couple of people, allegedly, know people who have taken the cure, but they haven't seen them since. Although one of them was quite loose-lipped with the location of their compatriots. So they seem to live in this neighborhood. We could give them a visit.
We should. Sounds good. We forcibly made somebody. Well, not forcibly. He did show up to take the cure, but we did see someone take it, and we do know where he lives.
Was that boy that smelled like poop that ran out of the shop?
Yes, that one.
Shouldn't be hard to follow.
Nursing.
Törn, funny enough, the smell when he ran by you to leave didn't come from his clothing, but when he was exhaling, his breath smelled of shit.
Lovely. And did you buy some?
Shit? No. Oh, vials. Yes. Yes.
Might I see?
Her Majesty has them.
Barrister. I like to pop one open and waft it.
Yeah, so you get a nice breath in, and you immediately kind of hits the back of your throat, and you start gagging. It has a very... The first thing you feel before you get that smell is when you touch the vial itself. You feel that there's a difference, and it doesn't feel like glass, and the kind of crinkles, the outside kind of crinkles where your hand is. And as you sniff and you look inside, the concoction is a mixture of this kind of brown, viscous, there's little lumps in it. And it smells like shit.
Oh, you must smell this. It's terrible. I pass it to Gotven.
And I just kind of take a look at it and I just pass it on. I already know.
Oh, I take a big old whiff.
You take a big old whiff, and it smells... It's a smell you're very familiar with, Vat and your bats. It smells of...
Bat poop. Is it made
Yes,
of bat poop?
it smells... there's a hint of guano. Yes.
I hold it up to so they smell it.
And your bats pop out of your hair, and,
Oh, this is made of bat.
and they start to smell it. And they shy away from it, but you can tell there's like that sense of familiarity there.
Oh yes. Oh, this is made out of bat poop. So no wonder it smells like poop. It's made of poop.
Well, I guess that checks out. I didn't see bat guano specifically listed in the ledger, but I did see that there was a great deal of supplies left at the mill.
The mill. Do I know anything about the mill?
You would know. Give me another presence check.
14.
What was it?
14.
14. You would know that Nagel lived in the... let me find his name real quick. Lived in the mill with his adopted father, who goes by the name of... Where's his name? Irvin. Irvin Crap.
Okay. I relay that information to
And the mill is in the East Ward.
Is that where Poop Boy said he lived?
Poop Boy, from what you guys recall, lived in the Center Ward. And it's about this time, as you guys are still conversing outside in the front of the shop, now kind of toward the back of the crowd instead of being right up the front, you watch as Karg, the woman with the shovel and the wheelbarrow, takes the wheelbarrow out, goes off a side ramp, and starts to wheel it toward the Center Ward of Galgenbeck.
Oh, I think we should follow.
Yes. Something doesn't smell right, and it's not the bad shit.
Correct.
I would like to keep a distance, but follow.
Okay. If everybody else is following along, can you give me agility tests to see how stealthy we are as a group?
Oh no.
17.
17. And then I also need a D100 roll from you, whoever's leading the group through the city.
I'll do it.
19 for me.
15 for me.
16.
Wow.
Natural 20.
Wow. Okay. And then your D100 roll was what, Vat?
42.
42. Okay. You make your way through the city, stealthy, quiet, using the alleyways to your advantage, kind of Scooby-Doo style, where you all kind of dip in and kind of poke around the corner with the horse all the way up the top, and the corgi all the way down at the bottom, following Karg through to the Center Ward. About halfway through, you watch as a pair of goblins hop out in front of the middle of the road in front of Karg, and she looks, she points her finger. You can't quite hear what she says, but she says something to them, and then they disperse. And she continues on her way, pushing her wheelbarrow forward, until she gets to a small home, about 10-15 minutes from that giant center town square that you guys were in originally, tucked in an alleyway between two larger homes. She knocks. And the boy opens the door. The boy that you saw in the shop. Hello? And Karg goes, "We need to talk. Inside." She pushes the wheelbarrow almost through him, and as he goes, closes the door behind her.
Is there a window on this house?
There's a couple on the second floor. Looking around, there you would imagine there's one close somewhere to the hearth, on either side of where the fireplace would be. There are windows.
Oh, I am perching on that window.
Okay.
Wait, did you say that the window was open or closed?
These windows are closed. The ones on the first floor are closed. The ones on the second floor are also closed, but you are more than the house is smaller in size. The ceiling, you could probably jump up and climb up if you wanted to try.
I would like to use one of my scrolls. I'm gonna mispronounce this. It's Metzanthals? Blind your eye. The one that turns you invisible. I would like to turn invisible and sneak into the house.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a presence check to see if you're able to cast or use that power.
Okay, I rolled a 22. Oh, no, sorry, 21.
21. With a 21, you quickly read the scroll and vanish.
I am climbing up that window, and sneak it in.
Okay. You get to the window. The window is unlocked, and you are able to kind of lift it up and crawl in. It seems that this second floor is mainly just a attic that has a doorway about 10 feet in.
Okay. I'd like to... Oh, go ahead.
There's a small bed and a desk, and looks like to be some sort of bedchamber.
Okay. I'd like to just kind of listen for any noise so I can get close enough to overhear their conversation.
Okay. Pressing down to the floor, putting your ear down, you hear some muffled talking, not enough to hear the actual words coming through, but Karg seems to have a sense of urgency, and the tone is more threatening. The boy sounds scared, a little bit nervous.
Can I get closer?
You'd have to open... You'd imagine you have to go downstairs, or at least to wherever a stairwell would be that would be able to hear this.
Yeah, I'll try to sneak in there.
Okay. You open the door, and very quietly it kind of... Not enough to cause any suspicion, but enough for you to kind of tense up for a second and wait. Continue to open the door and push through into this small stairwell that goes down and then turns to the left. As you get to that landing, you listen, and you hear Karg saying, "Listen, we can do this the easy way or the hard way. Either way, you're going in the wheelbarrow, and you're coming with me." He's like, "What? I thought I took the cure. I thought I was going to be okay, and yes, you are. You need to get in the wheelbarrow and come with me to the mill, because we need to monitor to make sure you don't in fact turn into a goblin and continue to infest this city." He thinks on it for a second. He's like, but you said the cure worked. If the cure worked, then I wouldn't turn into a goblin, and I'd be fine, and you wouldn't need to come check on me. And Karg, yes, you're very smart. You hear the boy, or you hear somebody stand up and start to move, followed by a thud, and then a second thud.
I'm going to make my way back so I can climb back out the window and relay everything.
Mm-hmm. That, peering through the window, you watch this whole interaction without hearing the words that are being spoken. Basically, that back end being the boy kind of frantically looks around, tries to grab a nearby candlestick, and as he stands up to swing on Karg very quickly and deftly pulls the shovel off her back in just one round sweep, hits him with the flat end, knocking him unconscious. You can see a little bit of blood splatter come from his forehead and his temple area. Not enough, but you're not 100% sure if he'll be alright. You see him moving a little as she picks him up and puts him into the wheelbarrow. A little bit of blood dripping onto the wood floorboards. She goes to the door, opens it. The rest of you, staying hidden in this alleyway, kind of peering around, watch as she lifts up the wheelbarrow, moves it out of the home, goes back to the town center, or toward the town center. And then you hear a thump on the ground next to you, but don't see anybody.
And it's just me. So, they don't know if he's actually going to be cured of this vial, with the vial that he took. So, what was the name? Karg?
Karg, with a G.
Karg. So Karg is headed to the mill to I guess inspect or check up on or see what's going to happen, because he may very well turn into a goblin.
Yes, she hit him on the head really hard.
Oh, that was
I
the
knew
thump
it.
I heard.
Is he dead?
I don't know. He did not look good.
We
Well-
should head over there.
I mean, yes, we should. But Mörkret, is there anyone else in the house?
I didn't see anyone else.
And did they leave the front door open?
I went out through the window.
But Korg came out, and oh no, fine, I'll come back. I want to know if there are any things in there that are in need of a new home. If he were to be dead.
We might have time to loot. I don't know. It's not my fault.
Just a little bit of looting.
I fully support your life decisions.
Gotven?
Gotven just like turns towards the door and tries to kick the door 300 style down.
Go ahead and give me a strength check, please.
Our priorities, I think, are spot on.
I love it. It's okay, guys. We got plenty of time.
17.
17. You straight up. You go for the handle, and then you're just like, fuck this. And like, you know, in like WWE where they like go to help the person but then fake them out and like drop kick them? That's essentially what you do to this door. And the door just bursts open, a Gotven-sized foothold in the center of it, gone completely through. You stagger in a little bit with it, but it's a pretty solid door kick open.
Ooh, doggies. Ladies, we're in.
After the door has been kicked open, can I just go to the handle and turn it to see if it was locked in the first place?
Oh yeah, 100% not locked.
Yep.
And it's like one of those shitty doors where like if she would have just tapped it, it probably would have swung open.
It checks out.
Love it.
I just strut right inside.
All right. So what I'm gonna have you guys do, because y'all did not expect y'all to do this.
Loot the dead guy.
Loot the potential dead guy's house. So what I'm gonna have you guys do is do.
He's not gonna need it.
Each one of you, or anyone choosing to loot the house, please roll a D100 and then a D66.
6. Heck?
A D66. A D66 is a D100, but with D6s. So the first one would be the 10 spot, the other one would be the 1 spot.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
So the lowest you can get is 11, the highest you can get is 66. Oh, not 6D6. 6. There we go.
I got a 54 and a 21.
A 54. Running through the house, you find 54 on which? The D100 or the
100.
Oh wait, yeah, that makes sense. 54. You find you open up a wardrobe and you find a suit of chainmail.
Lovely.
And you also find, what was the second one? 24. You
21?
also 21.
I think 21.
21. Okay. You look in where the bathroom would be, and you see this little like sterling silver ornate little jar, and you open it up, and there's some sort of powder in it, and you kind of sniff and play with it, and kind of do that on your hand, and it seems to be like kind of like talcum powder, like itching, something to stop itching, if that's what talcum powder does. I don't.
Lovely. Okay. Sure.
All right.
Some cortisone.
Who else is
I
looting?
have a 67 and a 12.
A 67. You find a bloody drill.
A bloody what?
Like a drill, like a.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's appropriate.
It's like covered in blood, and then.
Does it whir still? Is it working?
Yeah, it functions. It's like a hand crank one where you kind of like one of the hand crank like egg beaters for like making a cake, but with a drill bit at the end instead of.
Oh, and it's bloody. We love
Yes.
that. Okay.
Yes. And then what was your D66?
12.
12. You find. Let's see. Where's that at? Next to it, a blood-stained knuckle duster. So basically a set of brass knuckles that go over your hand.
I see that this person was very into some things.
The knuckle dusters will do a D4 damage instead of a D2 from your fist. Who's next?
I rolled a 98 and a 42.
Okay. You find you open up, you go back up to that bedroom, and across, tucked into one of the corners, it was dark, so you didn't see it the first time, but now that you're actually looking, you see about the size of the boy. It goes from the floor maybe about to the ceiling's about 6 feet high, so maybe about 5 feet high. You see an Iron Maiden.
He really was into us.
There's a theme here, guys, and I did not. This is not part of the plan.
A theme.
This is not part of the plan.
Really? I really person survives.
Is it empty inside?
Yes, you open it up and it is empty.
Darn. And what about that was the 98 or the 42?
That was the 98. 42.
Okay.
You find in the bathroom an unmarked bottle with a liquid that shifts between red and green.
I will pocket that and inspect it later.
You can also bring the Iron Maiden with you. I think one of you at least has a cart that you might be able to put this in and drag it out at some point.
I have a wheelbarrow, but I don't think it's gonna fit that.
Probably not.
In it. Probably not.
Could always come back.
If we're stealthing, I don't think a clunky Iron Maiden is gonna be
a
the best.
giant Iron Maiden in tow.
Don't we have a goose hat though? Still.
We do have a goose hat. The goose hat. Yeah.
Oh no, should I have been rolling for that?
Have you fed the goose hat yet today?
Curse.
Okay.
Actually, it's not time for everyone. So, Törn has like maggots crawling right up under her skin at all times, and so she'll pluck some out and feed them to the goose. But then, walk back down to the center room. Or is there a kitchen?
There's a kitchen.
Törn would like to take a platter out and make a little charcuterie board out of the worms and maggots.
Yeah. So
and walk it around the house, offering it to.
I put some cockroaches out of my hair.
Lovely.
I'm going to use the tips of my fingernails, which are very long and pointy. So I pretty much use those like toothpicks and
Okay.
Make a little skewer. Make a little skewer.
Yeah, you finish first, so you're able to throw that all together while everybody else is looting, and then looting snacks, just going around and making sure everybody is well fed and up to par. Gotven.
Pillaging gives you an appetite.
I got a 16 and a 52.
The 16 was on the D100 or the D66?
D100.
Okay. You find a pair of snowshoes.
Super useful.
And what was the D66? 50...
I already forgot. 54?
54. You find a golden ball, like a golden orb. And as you pick it up and you start playing around with it and messing around, your immediate thought is to smash it. And so you throw it on the ground and it kind of just thump, 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 thump. And you pick it back up and you keep playing with it and you twist it a little and it opens up. And inside you find a small black pearl.
Cute.
And I will explain what that pearl does later.
Okay.
And Theros, are you going to loot?
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be the only one left out of the fun. I got a 75 and a 13.
Okay. So you go to the hearth, and the hearth is still lit and ablaze, and you reach in, and you see this metal rod, and you pull out this metal rod, and it is an iron poker. However, for some reason, the tip of the poker remains red. So this item does, or this poker does a typical 1d4 damage. However, it will also do a static 2 points of fire damage whenever you fight something or stab something with it.
Take that for sure.
And then your D66 roll.
12.
12. You find in one of his pockets, in one of his shirt pockets, you find a bunch of very finely crafted glass that's worth approximately... Wow. Okay. Are you kidding me? I just rolled 99. So apparently this glass is worth 99 silver. That's the highest I've ever rolled on a D100 in my life. So
Cha-ching!
there you go.
Definitely
Not only do I... Yeah. You guys are making out like bandits, literally and figuratively.
The richest dead people in Gotven.
Yes.
Sorry, in
Great, because I just spent $70 on a cure that might not work, so...
Yep.
Karma. Good karma.
So, looting done, bellies fed. As you sit there deciding what the next course of action for you all will be, that's where we're going to take our break. So, we'll be back in about 10 to 15 minutes. Stay tuned. I'll announce on Discord when we're coming back, so y'all know to hop back in. And yeah, thanks for watching so far, and we'll be back soon. Welcome back. As you sit in this young boy's home, after looting all of the amazing things that he had to offer you all,
Borrowing
all these amazing things that he had to offer, what would the five of you, the damned, like to do next?
Well, I think we need to go to the mill. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, Vat, do you know anything about this boy's father from growing up here?
The boy we looted?
Oh, no. That Nagel fellow.
Oh, yeah. I did know something, but I definitely forgot.
Well, if it tickles your noodle again, you just let us know.
Yes. Something about living at the mill, or they fixed the mill, or something like that, I think.
Right. Let's go burn down the mill.
Oh yes.
We
They're
get to burn
definitely
it?
all of the goblins inside the mill. So
I don't see why not.
Best idea I've heard yet.
To
brains.
the mill?
Brains.
That, as you continue and lead your party through the city of Galgan back toward the eastward, I need you to roll a D100 for me.
$17.
All right. Yet again, just barely this time, you manage to go through the city. The goblins now, packs getting a little bit more eager and aggressive to test your strength, but are still wary of you to the point where they don't openly attack you. They get close, and you're able to throw rocks or knives or basically anything you have laying around. Pretend to shove your cart at them, flick them off, and flex your muscles, and they quickly scamper off to their various hiding spots. It takes you about 45 minutes or so to get to the mill. This giant wooden structure, about 4 stories tall. All the windows boarded up with pieces of wood and larger implements that, from what you can tell, they don't seem to be able to be forced open at all. You can hear this faint mechanical grinding, this coming from the top of the tower, or from this mill. The door to the mill, slightly ajar, leading up to it. And you notice this you notice this pretty much from the point that you left the boy's house, but a faint trickle of blood leading to the door. From Karg's cart.
Not good.
Not a gusher by any means, but enough for you guys to be able to track it.
Lovely.
Methinks, something's telling me that maybe this cure is not a cure. Just a thought. I'm just having a thought. I think.
Do you think that maybe these vials turn people into goblins instead of being the cure for it? Like do you think he's purposely turning them into goblins?
That would be straight fucked up.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It would ensure a demand for a cure.
And he's the only person who supplies the cure. He's like a revolving door of money.
This guy's brilliant.
After we burn down this mill, I think we need to rob that apothecary.
I agree.
Oh, I took some. And I grab a bunch of vials out of my pockets and I say, I took a lot.
Oh, nice. What do you have? Let me see.
These 2 go kaboom, and I think this one makes you feel better. invigorating, whatever that word means.
Did you take the time to inspect it while you guys were chilling?
Sure.
Okay. Since you had more than enough time, as your friends looted, the Invigorating Elixir will increase a character's agility by +1 for an hour after drinking it. When the hour is up, you roll a d8, and you take that damage before moving on. It's like chugging a 5-hour energy with an espresso shot with a Red Bull. May not taste great, but like you're gonna be flying with a jetpack with wings.
Got it.
On a bowl.
What about that unmarked red-green bottle?
Ooh, the unmarked red-green bottle is you haven't been able to really figure it out, but when it's red, you've inspected it, and it smells like a healing potion, like a healing tincture, salve. But when it's green, you kind of smell it, and you prick your finger, and it's acidic, like poison or like acid, and you cap it. So basically, when you use it, whenever you decide to use it, you'll either flip a coin or roll a d100, and there's a 50% chance that it will heal you, and a 50% chance that it could be poison or acid. I'm sorry. But you won't know until you attempt to use it.
Lovely. We'll
My
see how that
talcum
works
powder.
out for me.
Your talcum.
My talcum powder poison?
Your talcum powder.
It kills you slowly over time.
There's a way that
asphyxiation?
you could probably use it as some sort of like spray, like the D&D equivalent would be like dust of sneezing and choking or something like that, or sneezing and coughing.
Alright,
where
so
you
it's
kind of
talcum powder.
where you'd have to use an action to just kind of go and blow it in somebody's face, and they would have to attempt to resist from coughing it and dying. Yes.
I did not take the chainmail because it was too heavy. Well, actually, though, Mörkret, could I put this in your wheelbarrow?
Sure.
All right. We have chainmail in our wheelbarrow.
Chainmail, just for those of you who may not know, is a medium armor. So it negates a -4. Anybody
Yeah,
who does not cast powers can use medium armor.
What about my black pearl?
Your black pearl. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you about that. Your black pearl, if dropped in darkness, rolls toward the nearest exit to day.
Oh, nice.
Basically, it's a find your way out stone.
But if it's a dark pearl and you're dropping it in darkness, how is one supposed to follow it?
You get down on the ground. Duh.
I'll just rely on you and your bats. Bat.
Maybe something happens to it when it's in darkness to where we can see it. Who knows? I've got this fucking crazy vial, and I don't know if it's gonna help me or kill me.
But that's the fun in it. That's the fun in all potions. You never really know if they're gonna kill you or not.
It's a wonder she hasn't died yet from drinking potions like that.
It's truly remarkable.
How far are we from the tower?
I'd say
The
you're
mill?
safe. You're far enough away. You're at a safe enough distance where your voices can't be heard. You guys aren't.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys aren't blatantly, just sitting there
Screaming
yelling.
outside, yeah.
Yeah.
Are there places to hide right around it, or is it kind of in the open?
The mill itself is in the open. There are some houses maybe about 30, 40 feet away, but there is a nice little, like courtyard, open area type deal, no man's land, in between any sort of cover in the mill.
Is there a door at the base of the tower?
Yeah, the door at the base of the mill is where you see that kind of trickle of blood leading into. And it's slightly ajar. It's not fully ajar, but it's maybe about a couple inches open.
Lovely. Well, I am going to give them some nice visitors. I would like to cast, where is it? The one where it brings friends.
Oh.
Foul
Okay.
Psychopomp? Is it
Yeah.
that one?
You're gonna use Foul Psychopomp? Okay.
Yes, I would love to.
Go ahead, before you do so, roll me a d20. A presence check, please.
16.
16. Okay, so you can successfully use Foul Psychopomp. So we'll go ahead and roll a d6.
4.
4. So you get zombies. Go ahead and roll a d4.
Yay!
Go ahead and roll a d4.
4.
12. Wow. Oof. Cool. Yeah. Give me a second. I'm gonna send you a picture really quick on Discord. Would you prefer Discord or Instagram?
Discord,
Okay.
please.
I'm gonna send you a picture of this really quick. So that way you have the stat block for a zombie.
I control them? I thought I was just dropping them off. Like kids
you're
at
just-
soccer practice.
Oh, you're just dropping off. You're just dropping off the kids at soccer practice. Okay.
I didn't
alright.
know I could control them.
I mean, it doesn't specifically say. So.
I'll let them have their fun.
Okay. So you open. Do you open the door then and like let them walk in? Okay. So as you do, you hear some snickering, and then you hear some clattering, and you hear what sounds to be fighting commence.
Can I drill a hole into the side of the mill to look through with my hand drill?
Make a strength check for me.
That? Where did you find that?
Cranking at
So
the
you-
wall. 4.
4. You get like maybe a couple centimeters into the wood, and then you feel the head of the drill start to kind of like wiggle, and then you feel a part of it or something might have broke. You pull it back really quick. The very tip of it is broken, but the rest of it is fine. You can still probably use it to drill an existing hole, but you'd imagine that any more drilling might damage the item.
I throw it away. I just toss it away and I say, I found it in the almost dead guy's house and it's not working.
All right. A minute or
I
about.
try to sneakily look through the door.
Yeah, go ahead and give me a presence check.
Oof, 7.
So you watch as you see two of the zombies. There's this barricade in between. There's this giant barricade right when you open the door that pretty much goes from floor to ceiling. It's stacked with bookshelves and chairs and basically anything it looks like this person or whoever built this found got thrown into this pile, and it goes pretty much from floor to ceiling, and then from wall all the way over, and there's maybe about a 5-foot gap between where this barricade ends and this bookshelf that sticks off the other side of the wall, but there's a 5-foot pathway, and in that pathway you see two of the zombies, one kind of making its way into that pathway, the other one on the far end of it. As you're watching, you're standing there, you hear this loud boom as you see the smoke billow out through portions of the barricade. Something, you're not quite sure what, smacks into the two zombies, and they just explode in just a pile of gore and bits, some of it kind of making its way to the door and covering your face. After the boom, you guys all hear it. You still hear some more fighting for another minute or for another couple seconds before silence.
I'd like
What
to
is
run into the
going
door.
on in there?
Oh, go ahead.
I said, what is going on in there? What can you see?
Well, I saw a barricade. There's some bookshelves. There were some zombies. Now they're on me, which is weird and gross. But not the worst thing that's ever been on my face. As of right now, I don't really see anything, but maybe that means we can go in.
Yes, let's make our hero entrance.
I pull a piece of brain out of your hair. I just like drop it.
As you
Törn
push,
will run in the door, waving around her femur, which is her weapon, and shouting, "Where did they go? Where did they go?"
okay. So you immediately walk in. You see the barricade. You look to your left, following the barricade to the wall. Nothing. You look to your right. You see the bookshelf. You see this 5-foot passageway through the barricade and the bookshelf to the other side of the room. You run through, kind of wading through the gore of your zombie children, the two that were in the center. You see a third one laying on the ground, dead. A fourth one by the stairs, dead. On the opposite side of this barricade, you also see three giant iron balls behind what looks to be some sort of giant rifle or cannon, which was pointed at this entryway. Smoke still billowing from the barrel of this cannon. A dead body of a goblin lies beside it near one of the zombies. A second one is closer to the stairs, and as you come running in and looking, you see a third set of feet up the stairs.
Goblin feet?
From what you can see, yes.
Tiny little dazzling.
Shit.
Well, they know we're here now. We might as well not be quiet.
That's a fucking cannon. Ooh. How far is this goblin running? Like, how many flights of stairs?
From what you could see, so it's one of those stairs where it goes up the side of the wall, and then when it meets the ceiling, you lose sight.
Okay, I'm gonna bust out one of my tablets. And so these are like strapped by leather and chained to my back, but I'm gonna kind of just pull one tie, and they're both gonna drop on the ground with a loud thud. I'm gonna grab one of them with a giant bat on the front of it and hold it up. A bolt of lightning is gonna come through the facility and like hit my tablet. I'm gonna try to cast. It says create the loathing of Volark. So whoever's running up the stairs has to roll a toughness test, or it has to jump from wherever it is. Jump from
a toughness test. Do you have a DC for that? Does it say what the DC for it is?
16.
Oof. Oh god. All right.
If it fails, it just jumps to its hopeful
All
death.
right. Well, I rolled a natural 1. So
Great.
You watch as you hear the scurrying of feet, and then the feet stop, and then it just kind of like backflops down the stairs and just all the way down. And is now laying at the base of the stairs.
All right. And static just kind of runs through my hair for a little bit, and I just put down my tablet.
You get that like weird pulsing hair thing where it's just like,
Yeah, and now my hair is sticking up a little bit, which I don't like. But oh, and that was the one I found last time. So I kind of take a look at it. Oh, not too bad, eh?
I run over to the goblin.
okay.
Is it alive?
From what it looks like, yes, it's badly bloodied and its arm is broken, but it's alive.
Take me to your leader!
I'm gonna roll a reaction. Let's see what it does. These dice, all these dice want to do is help you, because I just got a 12. So it looks
My plan is working.
boss is at top of tower. Yes, all the way up.
And who is it?
Boss with glasses on head And boss with big beefy goblin boss. Bastard.
Thank you very much. You've been very helpful. And I would like to drive my dagger into its head.
Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Please remind me how to do that.
Roll a d20, and then you'll add your strength modifier to that.
11.
11. As you go to stab down, the goblin rolls its shoulder really quick, and you hit the dirt. As a reaction, it will try to swipe at you with one of its claws. So I need you to roll an agility test. DC, I believe, 14.
Oh, I fail.
So you are going to take... Are you wearing any armor?
No.
You take 1 point of damage.
Okay.
And now I need that. Since you initiated this combat, I need you to roll a d6 for me, please.
4.
4. So you guys will go first. So I need everybody to roll an agility test. Or a d6. No, I'm sorry. A d6 plus your agility. As you guys all are about to curb stomp this poor little Gabo.
I thought it would be quick. I thought it would be an instant,
Gotven got 5. Did anybody get higher than a 5?
I got 6.
6 for that. And what did you get, Törn?
6.
6. Which one of you wants to go first?
That, go right ahead.
I will.
That, Törn, Gotven, 4. Anybody get a 4?
No,
3.
I got a 3.
3.
3.
And then what'd you get?
I got a 1.
A 1. Awesome. All right, so that, your turn. You're up. What would you like to do? You know now that this goblin has hit you. So you will look at your arm and you can see the scratch mark start to bubble and become infected as you have just been hit by a goblin and have the Goblin Curse.
I have the Goblin Curse! Yeah, I run as fast as possible to drive my dagger into it.
Okay, go ahead and roll another attack roll.
Fudgy muffins, 3.
3. You go to stab down, and again, that wasn't a natural 1, was it?
No.
Okay, you go to stab down, and again, it rolls its other shoulder, its broken arm kind of flailing wildly as it does. Törn, you see this. Is there anything you'd like to do?
If Vat wanted, could she use an omen?
If Vat wanted, Vat could use the omen. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh my gosh, those are a thing!
Yeah,
Yes,
Nice.
omens are a thing. Thank you for reminding me, because, yes,
Oh
you
my
can use an omen.
God.
That's how I died last time.
Yes, I would love to re-roll that that attack if I can.
Yeah, go for it. DR 14 with your strength still.
I rolled a 2.
A 2. Oh, you don't have any strength. You have 0 strength.
I have -1 strength.
Oh, okay. So you stab out again.
Well, you
rolls its other
tried.
shoulder, arm
This is real
flailing.
good.
Törn, it is your turn. What would you like to do?
Can I throw the femur?
Yeah, you
At
can.
the,
It would still be. You can make a presence check for that. A presence
Okay.
roll for that to attack. I'll say it since it's a ranged attack.
18.
18 hits. Go ahead and roll your damage. And he has
Cool. Yeah, I'm
minus
just gonna
D2.
try and bonk. It's 3.
3 points of damage. You hit him, and you watch as it hits him in his face and breaks his jaw a little, and it's now while its arm is flailing. It's still alive, just barely hanging on. It's kind of ropey and diseased flesh, taking more of the damage than you thought it would.
Lovely.
Gotven.
Can I walk to the cannon?
Yeah, you can. As you
Can I
walk
try
around,
to use it?
So, as you walk around the cannon, you notice two things. One, the cannon is unloaded. There's no fuse at the top. It didn't seem like these goblins had time to reload. Two, on the back end of one of the wheels, it looks like some sort of acid or something had spilt off a shelf behind the cannon when the cannon went off, and the ground behind the cannon is starting to erode and give way, and it looks like there's a chamber underneath.
To let this cannon fall or not? I'm gonna alert the rest of the team that I see a chamber beneath me.
Okay. You still have action, bonus action. Well, action, you can still do something if you'd like.
Do I see where the acid was spilled? Like, is it from a vial or something? Or
Yeah, there's a small vial that seemed to have fell, and I mean, it's in pieces, it's glass, so it's shattered and spread across this area, but you can see it came from the shelf behind the cannon.
Got it. Okay. That's all I'm gonna do for now.
Okay. Mörkret.
I'm going to take my staff and, like, in an upswing motion, just right in the crotch.
Go for it. Go ahead and roll a DR 14 strength test for me.
Do I roll a d20?
Yeah, a d20 plus your strength modifier. Yes.
Okay.
And you need to get a 14 or higher.
I rolled a 17.
A 17. All right, go ahead and roll your damage, which for a quarterstaff or a staff, I believe, is a d4.
That is 3 points.
3 points. As you hit it, it does a little bit less damage than you thought it should, but you watch as the body, you hit it and the body shudders in pain and then just goes limp. And you are out of initiative.
Oh, I've been cursed! I'm cursed! I'm Goblin Curse! I'm like rolling on the ground, holding my arm.
You look at your arm as you're rolling around, and the infection has stopped, and it's just a normal cut now.
I would like to inform everybody that I am no longer cursed.
Should we cut off the arm anyways, just to be sure?
I think maybe.
I vote yes.
Well, come here. Let's look at that.
I show them my arm.
Yeah. Looks just like a normal kind of cut.
I would like to sprinkle some talcum powder on it and see if anything happens. I also don't know how talcum powder works.
I also don't know how talcum powder works, and I gave it to y'all. So, it burns a little.
Do you have a rash?
It burns a little as it touches your open wound, but other than that, there isn't any effect.
So...
Are you sure
Okay.
it bit you?
It scratched me. But okay, listen to me. I know you guys are so much smarter than me, but just listen for, okay. So to end the Goblin Curse, we have to kill all of the goblins, is what is just, I'm inferencing here. Because it was infected, and now the goblin's dead, and now it's fine.
You think there's goblins in this chamber down here? I'm pointing downwards. I'm still by the cannon.
There could be. Let's check.
Possible?
Well, the bosses, he told me the bosses were up.
Boss will wait.
We could. I could just lay down the bear trap in this hallway, and then we can go upstairs, and if anything comes out, bear trap.
Do you love a bear trap?
The bear
I do love
trap
a bear trap.
is a good idea.
I like it. I'm gonna start walking up the stairs.
Okay.
All right, I will lay that bear trap down in that hallway.
So you pry the bear trap open, set the pin, get it ready to be used. I'm guessing you're just kind of putting it like right by the stairs, or are you putting it by the entryway to the basement that you saw, or?
Was it in a hallway? that led down, or?
No, it was so right behind the cannon. There's maybe about a 5-foot space of the floor that's physically dissolving, and going down into something underneath.
Ooh. Well, what do you think? I don't want to put it onto a dissolving floor. That's just going to sink.
Right.
So where should we?
Maybe just at the base of the stairs?
I like the staircase. We'll know to jump
Right.
over it.
Right.
And they don't
So
follow
note
us
that there's
up.
a bear trap right here.
Okay.
As I open the bear trap.
I look at the melting floor. About how much time do we have until this thing breaks through and releases whatever's in there?
Whatever you think, or looking at it, it seems localized. So it doesn't think like it. You don't think it's going to dissolve any more than it could, but you could squeeze through the tunnel there if you wanted to, or at least put your head in.
Now, Barrister, don't step on that bear trap. I know it's very tempting, but don't do it. We need you.
Barrister trap.
He's.
I'll show myself out.
I'm going to if it pleases you, I will I'm going to wait outside. The ceilings are a little low.
Yes. As you.
And he turns around and kind of clops out. The corgi stays by your side though. There is. As you begin to head up the stairs.
Lovely.
So, as you begin to head upstairs, you hear some snickering. Theros, what's the marching order, by the way?
I'll go first.
I think Theros said she was going first. You want to go second, Gotven?
I'll go second.
Okay. Third.
I'll go in the middle, third.
I'm the
Fourth.
fourth.
Alright. And then...
I'm the caboose.
Alright. Theros, as you go up the stairs, you hear some snickering, and I need you to, you immediately smell this like really, this stench, not quite, more like really, really bad BO. As you continue to head up the stairs, that mechanical grunting, that getting louder now as you are reaching toward that precipice where the stairs meet the floor. And as you do, I need you to make me a agility test, please. Just theirs. 12. So you hear a little yeah as you look over to the side and a goblin is chucking a bucket in your direction. You manage to sidestep and the floor splashes over with this oil. But I need you to do me a favor and roll a d6 for me. 6. So you guys will have the chance to go first. In this room, not only do you see this goblin who's in the center of the room where it looks like there's this kind of bubbling pool in the center, but you also see 2 other goblins standing on top of what looked like small little stools on the back end where this railing comes around the top of the stairs that you're at. Looking across, you see another set of stairs that are leading up to the next floor, the 3rd floor. But all you see right now is this blackish liquid that's in front of you, this kind of partially overflown pool in the center, and the 3 goblins. I need the rest of you to roll an agility test plus an agility plus a d6. Anything?
I got a 6.
6. Anybody get higher than a 6? Torn. All right. 5.
I got a 5.
Okay. 4.
Oh, is this on the D6?
Yeah, a d6.
I was
plus
talking
your...
about my agility.
Oh.
Oh, plus.
Yeah, it's
Sorry.
a d6 plus your agility.
It's not very good. It's an 8.
Oh, all right. So you're still top. There you go. 4, 3. Maybe you got 3. I don't know. 2.
I got a 7. Sorry.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
Torn, then Gotven.
I'm back. Sorry.
Torn, Gotven, Vat, Mörkret,
2.
and then Theros. What'd you get?
Also a 2.
Also a 2. Which one of you would like to go first?
You
I feel
can
like
go
I must
first.
have done this wrong for everyone's score to be so low.
No, because it's no. What's your agility? What's your agility modifier? Plus
0.
what? 0. What'd you get on the d6?
2.
A 2. So then you are not first. You also are at the
I
bottom.
thought you were asking us to roll an agility check.
No, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's my bad. So you 3 are at the bottom. I'll let you guys. You guys can kind of go at the same time, different order, however you want at the bottom. So Gotven, what would you like to do? You're second in line, so you can see over the edge of the bottom of this floor where your head is kind of peeking up over. There are 2 goblins. There's one next to this pool in the center. The other 2 are on the back end. The back end of the wall, or standing against the wall with arrows that look to be on fire.
And the bubbling center, do I know that's oil?
Roll me a presence check.
5.
5. You're not quite sure. There's a lot of different brackish liquids that you've experienced. Oil, feces matter mixed with oil, other things that could be oil. But you kind of touch it and you're like, I don't know.
I know what she'll want to do is set it on fire. I don't want to.
Theros is standing kind of right up next to it, though. Like the little bit. And then there's a section in the center.
Yeah. All right. Well, how far are the goblins from me?
About 20, 30 feet. The radius, or the circumference of the diameter of this tower isn't very big. It's maybe only about 30 feet wide at the most.
Am I able to sneak in a little closer?
Yeah, you can get there with your speed that you have. Everybody has about, same as D&D, about 30 feet of movement. So you can squeeze. You can run through the liquid that's on the ground, run around across the railing, bypassing the one goblin that's right up against the oil to one of those other 2 that have their bows out and drawn.
Okay. Ooh, kind of sketchy, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Okay.
I'm gonna run, I think 10 feet closer. I have a 15-foot heavy chain, which I use to kind of strap my tablets to my back.
Okay.
Can I try to hit them with it?
Yeah, go ahead. I'll equate this to kind of like using a whip, so it'd still be strength based.
Okay.
So go ahead and make a DR14 strength test. So D20 plus your strength.
16.
16 will hit. Go ahead and
Nice.
roll your damage, which will be just a D4.
2.
2. So you hit it and it smacks it across its chest. It leaves this big kind of black and purple bruise as you pull it back, and you successfully damage it. It looks hurt. It doesn't look as hurt as you think it should, but that's because goblins have a little bit more kind of leathery hide that protects them from the warping process.
I'm just gonna start spinning the chain.
All right.
I'm gonna step against the wall a little bit, so I'm kind of out of the way.
Okay. Yeah, you can step against the railing so that way people can get around you.
Yeah.
What would you like to do?
Neat. So did that end up on fire? I think I missed it.
It did not end up on fire, no.
Got it. Okay. So there's a goblin right, up at the top of the stairs?
There's a goblin at the top of the stairs closer to the center of the room where this pool is that seems to be bubbling and a little overflowing with this black liquid. Yes.
Got it. I would like to throw one of my daggers at it.
Go ahead. Go ahead and give me a presence roll DC 14 for me, please.
5.
Remember, you do have omens.
I want to re-roll. 8.
You throw the dagger, and it goes flying past, not into the pool, but clatters to the other side of the room.
That is not a combat hand. Lovely. I guess that's really it. I can, drink the other dose of spider owl soup that I have that I put on that kid, and I'm just gonna crawl to the top of the ceiling and just.
All right. So you kind of spider climb and then hang like a bat and cover yourself. All right. Awesome. Theros, what would you like to do?
I want to walk up to the one that tried to, they weren't throwing the stuff on me, but who dumped out the bucket, and I want to stab it in the heart with my new fiery poker.
All right, go ahead and roll a strength test for me.
18.
18, that will hit. Go ahead and roll your d4 plus 2.
3 points of damage.
That's with the plus 2?
Yes.
Awesome.
It did not roll well.
Awesome. So as you stab into it, it does seem to negate a portion of that, but not a whole lot of the overall damage. As you stab into it and you see the fires start to spread a little across its chest before it kind of like it does that thing where you poke a piece of wood in the fire where it really quick and then fades away. But it does scorch the skin where it was. Anything else?
No.
All right. Mörkret, what would you like to do?
I would like to use my scroll of 9 violent signs on Not the Storm.
All right. Go ahead and roll
unleash a lightning storm upon their goblin-y flesh.
All right. Go ahead and roll a d20 and add your presence to it for me. And tell me what you got.
I got a nat 20.
All right. So you are going to, let me pull up the spell. Since that's a critical success, you will do, go ahead and roll a d4 instead of a d2.
Okay. 3.
3. So you'll be able to send, as you flick your wrist out as you're reading the scroll with the other hand, 3 lightning bolts come shooting out of your hand, and we'll go ahead and roll 2d6 for each.
Okay. You said that there were are the 3 goblins?
Yes, for each of the 3 goblins.
Okay, so the first roll is a 9.
A 9. All right.
Second is 7.
7. All right.
And the third is 11.
11. You watch as the lightning bolts strike out. The two that had the arrows pulled back, the fire ignited at the end of the arrows, getting ready to aim at the pool of liquid at Theros' feet. You watch as this bolt of lightning comes shooting out of your hand, strikes them dead in the chest, flings them against the wall, and then they slump to the ground, knocked out. The one that is standing next to the vat of this black liquid, you hit it square in the chest. It takes the damage. Looks as the lightning kind of crackles across him, and he has those pulses of electricity kind of going through him. He takes a step back and he falls into the liquid. Not dead, but it was enough damage to kind of just push him back and off this slippery edge. Törn, it is now your turn.
All 3 of them are still alive?
No, 2 of them, the 2 that had the arrows are dead. The only one that's living is this one in the vat.
In the vat, you say?
In the vat.
In the what?
Vat.
In the vat.
So I walk up to it. I go to Theros and say, might I borrow this? About her new shiny poker.
Yeah, sure.
Great. I will take that and lean down into the vat and try and skewer it.
Go ahead and give me a strength test, please.
Okay.
DR 14.
19.
19, that'll be a hit. Go ahead and roll a d4 plus 2.
Be 4 total.
4 total. I rolled a 2 on my damage reduction die. However, that remaining 2, it looks like its hide takes the piercing from the poker. However, as the fire spreads across its body really quick and scorches it, it ignites this pool, which kind of does like one of those like mini volcano where it goes and just up in the air. The immediate heat wave makes you turn your face a little, but you're just basking in it. And you look, and now this pool of oil that is now in the center of this room is just a bonfire. The ceiling above you is scorched, not burnt, or not overly burnt or on fire, but scorched to the point where it looks like the beams are giving just a little, and you can see the cracks from the fire in it.
I would have ran away as soon as I heard the.
Yeah, you hear the thump, and you like crawl to the nearest thing where you can hide under, from using your spider climbing.
Sorry, Bat.
But you now have this little mini bonfire in the center of the room.
Just stand like Elmo.
I've got a couple of crispy maggots now that I'll chomp on like chippies.
Yeah, a couple of them that poured out of your skin kind of get fried as they're sitting there.
Yep. I am having little maggot Pringles as we walk up the next set of stairs.
Yum.
All right.
Gonna heat up my chain a little bit on the end of it.
All right. As you all start to head up, same marching order with Theros in the front.
Sure.
All right. As you continue to head up the stairs, the one thing that you guys noticed that you didn't really pay enough attention to when you were walking up the first flight was that same trickle of blood that you saw leading into this mill is now going up the stairs, and it's not just a trickle anymore. It looks like dried blood with varying degrees of aging. So some of them, you can spot the trickle that would have been from the boy that you were following, that Karg had taken back to the mill. But you can also see splotches of blood here and there of various different tints of maroon and reds, from what you would imagine other victims that have been brought up this staircase before. You head up to the 3rd floor, and as you do, you come into what seems to be an empty chamber. In the center, you see 2 alchemy tables. You can see beakers bubbling, and the room shakes as above your head you can hear the deafening thump, 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 thump of whatever machine is on the floor above, cranking this mechanical cranking that is now shaking the room that you're in. And it's almost deafening to the point where even talking to each other in a low hush is difficult to hear. There are 2 huge tables. Some are mostly covered with smashed bottles that are scattered, different reagents and alchemical solutions across. There are a couple vials that are still intact. And it almost looks as some of these have kind of combined, some of the concoctions within these jars and vials, as they broke, had started to combine. In the center, there's a large puddle of ambery orange goo.
Can I'd like to use my levitation scroll so that I'm not touching anything on the ground, but I would like to hover over and kind of inspect what these bubbling concoctions are.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a presence check, please. DR12.
18 plus...
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Dirty 20.
Yeah, you're good. You cast your spell, and this time, instead of turning invisible, you watch as when you lift up your hands, your feet just gently start to lift off the floor, and you begin to levitate.
And I'd like to move over, float towards the bubbling concoctions.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a presence check. 17. As you get closer, not quite to the point where you can actually inspect the table, you peer down at the goo that is underneath a combination of those tables, kind of like just scattered around on the ground, and you watch it kind of almost like flubber jiggle.
Like a gelatin?
Yes.
Does any of it look like the vials that we purchased?
Looking around the room with that check, a combination of scanning the room as you were moving toward the tables, the creature itself does not look like anything from the vials that you saw. However, on one of the shelves on the back wall, you do see a handful of the supposed Goblin Cure. It does not have that shiny green wrapping. Instead, you see the viscous brown with kind of those lumpy spots in it that you noticed when you uncorked it outside of the shop.
And does the green aspect of it look similar to that weird red-green vial that I have?
No, it doesn't. So the green that was on the Goblin Cure was more of like a paper covering that they saran wrapped over the top to make it still have that glass feel, but basically to dupe people.
Okay.
Into thinking it was nice and shiny. Yeah. So okay. there's none of that on those vials that you're seeing on those shelves. It looks like whatever he does, you can't quite deduce how he puts it on there, but there's a separate spot or a separate portion where he takes this wrapping and puts it on.
And I'll just relay kind of all of that to everybody that's nearby.
Still going toward the table?
Yes.
All right. As you do, you're hovering, and you're not like 5 feet off the ground. You're only maybe about a foot or so off the ground, just enough to be able to not get your feet wet or in any of this liquid. You go down to inspect the table, and as you do, almost like flubber, a portion of this ooze kind of reaches a tendril out towards you. Can you do me a favor and roll me a d6, please?
Okay. I rolled a 3.
A 3. All right. So, the ooze will go first. After the ooze, I need you guys to all roll a d6 and add your agility for me. I'll take your initiative before I roll the ooze's attack. Or, well, you roll for the ooze's attack. 4 is Törn. 4 is also that. 5 is Gotven. And Theros. Is that 5 or 6?
5.
5, okay. And Mörkret, how do we do?
Oh, I'm sorry. You want me to roll again?
Yeah, roll a d6 and add your agility for me. Yeah.
Another 3.
Another 3. Awesome. It's going to, since you are the only one close to it, it will make that tendril is still coming towards you. I need you to roll me an agility test, please. So you're going to roll a d20, add your agility, and you have to get higher than a 12.
19.
19.
Plus, minus, agility, would be 16.
16. So you watch as this tendril is coming at you. Noticing it, you levitate and push yourself off the table to the side as it kind of reaches out to where your foot would have been and then recoils back into itself. It then kind of following you slowly. It does get to a little bit to the space underneath you, halfway between, or in between your feet, underneath your feet, and your friends. Theros, you go first.
It's like
Gotven,
right
you're on deck.
underneath her.
It's under. It's like half underneath her, half on the other side, closer to you guys.
Okay, so I want to take one of my bombs and throw it closer at like, I guess in the middle, so that it doesn't really hurt anyone in the wherever I can throw it where it doesn't hurt anyone.
You have a bomb?
On my team in the I do. I should have 3 of them.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see. Yep. Sealed bottle. All right, go ahead and roll as you throw it. Go ahead and give me a presence check. A DR 10 presence check as you chuck this bomb.
Ugh, that's so unfortunate. I got a 5.
5. You do have omens.
I have 1, yeah. So I will do it again.
All right.
I will re-roll. 14.
14. That will hit. Go ahead and roll a D10 for me.
8.
8. All right. Let me roll for its damage negation. All right. So it will take that much damage. Awesome. Anything else? You watch as it lands and rolls, or as it lands and smashes, it echoes, and you watch as the floor underneath where the ooze starts to snap and break and kind of not bend in, but you watch as parts of the ooze kind of seep through the cracks where the bomb was.
Perfect.
All right, Gotven.
I'm gonna smash it with my hammer.
All right, go ahead and roll a strength test for me.
Oh. 9.
9. As you smack down into it, again, you have omens if you so wish. I don't know how many omens each of you have, but some of you guys have more omens than others, so.
Yeah, I'm gonna use one. I'm gonna re-roll that.
All right, go ahead and re-roll it.
Oh, shit. I got an 8.
An 8. So as you smack down, the ooze just kind of opens up as the warhammer smacks in the middle, and then as you lift it back up to recoil for another attack, it coalesces back into its singular being again.
All right.
That. What would you like to do?
Hey, do I know if this flash powder does damage or if it's just like a light?
So the mechanics of the flash powder is that it creates a brilliant flash, is likely to blind you as your opponent, stuns all opponents that can be seen for D3 rounds. You and all of your allies must test a toughness check or also be stunned. This guy's not a great alchemist.
No, he's not. I don't know if that would know all of that, so I think that would throw it.
Okay. Go ahead and
area where the bomb was.
Go ahead and roll me a presence check, DR 10. To try to get it close to where he is.
18.
18. So he's going to be, roll me a D6 on a 4. A 4 will be a 1, a 5 will be a 2, and a 6 will be a 3. 2. So he will be stunned for 2 rounds. The rest of you need to roll a DR 12 toughness check for me, please. As this loud kind of flashbang, like it flashes, and then this like the sound like thunder just boom pops and.
Can I use my last omen to take the DR -4?
You can for yourself. It's for yourself. It's not for other people, because you still have to make that check. So instead of a 12, now it's an 8 for you.
Yes.
Awesome.
I rolled
Mörkret,
a 9.
how'd you do?
I'm sorry, was I rolling?
Yeah,
thing?
roll a toughness check.
Oh,
DR
that.
Yeah.
I got an 18 for that.
An 18, you're good. You are not stunned. Törn
I failed.
failed, so you will be stunned for 2 rounds as well.
Lovely.
Gotven. So you failed as well. You will be stunned for 2 rounds. And
Okay.
Queen Theros.
I also failed.
So you will be stunned
I thought everybody was
for
doing this.
2. You will also be stunned for 2 rounds. The good news is this thing is also stunned for 2 rounds. So the who didn't fail? Okay. So that was Vat's turn. We're still on round. We haven't officially started round 1 of the 2 rounds yet. So Mörkret, it's your turn.
Okay, so one of the things that I had purchased prior to the game was I have a backpack with some belongings in it. 2 of which are a lantern and oil lamp. So what I would like to do is pour oil lamp on the glob thing, light the lantern, and smash it down onto it to light it on fire.
Okay. Let's do a presence check for that. Actually, you know what? I'll roll a toughness check for the creature, and I'll set it at. Let's see. Make it a little bit difficult. I'll set it as a 14. So I need to roll a natural 14 because creatures in Mork Borg don't have abilities. I rolled a 9. So go ahead and do me a favor and roll a d6 for me.
Okay. 5.
5. So it will take, of that 5, it will, because of its natural gooey form and being kind of able to snuff out some of the fire, it will reduce that by 2. So it'll take 3 points of damage, which will put it at that amount of health, which I'm not telling you. But you watch as the oil splashes over it, and it's got this nice thick coat of oil and like this fire burning on the surface layer of it. You watch as it's starting to bubble as the fire is starting to get deeper into the goo. The ooze, it's the ooze's turn now. It's stunned, so it doesn't do anything. So it goes back to the top of the round. The top three players, Gotven, Theros, and Törn, are all stunned. So that goes their first round of being stunned. So Vat, it is now your turn again.
I'm going to, since I know that it's stunned, there's still like one of its like tentacle things.
Yeah, there's still portions of it that are not covered in fire. Yeah.
Great. I would love to put my brass knuckles on and punch.
Go for it. Give me a strength check. DR 10.
11.
11. So go ahead and roll a D4 for me.
2.
2. As you punch it, oh man, I need to get a 2 here. Actually, yeah, I need to get a 2 here. And I got a 1. So as you punch it, you watch as you punch straight through the goo covering your arm, and it stings and it burns a little bit, and it gets a little bit into that goblin cut you got earlier, and it burns a lot, like putting salt or like spraying hydrogen peroxide or putting hydrogen peroxide on a wound. But you continue to punch through, and you watch as it does. It just kind of explodes in this burst of fire, almost like if you put a Jello shot. If you lit a Jello shot on fire and then shattered it, that's what it would look like. And this goo just flying everywhere across this chamber. As it does, the fire kind of washes out.
You know this by experience, or?
Me? No, I wish. That would be such a... No. Well, I wasted a perfectly good Jello shot, for real, though. But you are out of initiative. A moment goes by, and your friends all come to, their ears pounding and ringing, their eyes starting to redilate.
Okay. I won't do that again when everybody's in the same room. But it worked.
What we have figured out is that if we can either use a bomb or light things on fire, that's always the answer.
What happened?
It's dead.
Yeah, I couldn't see anything.
Oh, great. I just rest the hammer on my shoulder.
And then when in doubt, punch it in the face.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Ah.
So the room is yours. That the machine above, or whatever this mechanical sound is above, is still that intense. For those of you who had their eardrums just popped by that bomb, it is kind of giving you that little bit of a headache, but you guys are all fighting through it at the moment.
Is the shelf with the extra cures within reach?
Yeah.
All right, I'd just like to swipe those, put them in my bag, however
Yeah.
many will.
Go ahead and roll 2d6 for me, and add the total.
Yeah, let's inspect the shit out of this room.
8. You get 8 vials of
Bat
of bat guano mixed with water and some other things.
Ew.
Is it flammable?
Is it flammable?
I guess we'll find out.
You will find out.
Only one way to find out.
As you guys are getting ready to leave, or as you guys are, is there any other looking around that you guys would like to do?
Yeah, let's inspect this room. It's got all the vials and...
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead
the
and-
parts that don't have flaming goo on it.
Whoever would like to check, go ahead and give me a presence check, please.
11.
11. And who else is
18.
checking? 18. Okay. 8. Anybody else? No? Alright. So, through the three of you looking around this room, you find a couple of things. You find a vial of... what looks to be some sort of smoke on the inside. You find a book that seems to have the mixture for the fake Goblin Cure, which is really only, looking at it, bat guano, water, and a couple grains of rice.
We do know that it's fake now, yes?
You do know, the one thing you do to know from looking at it is that it's fake in the sense that it cures the Goblin Curse. However, the one effect that he consistently has written in the journal is that it has, in fact, prolonged the effects of the curse. It hasn't cured it, but it's prolonged it.
Like, prolonged the time that
So
you're a
it-
human before you turn into a goblin? or the
Correct.
time
So
you
it
last
so it
goblin?
so somebody
Okay.
drinks it, and they have a certain amount of days before. They have a certain amount of days added on to the amount of time before they turn into a goblin.
Okay.
To which they try to bring them here, which is what we found earlier.
You're not quite sure. You don't know how that kidnapping of sorts factors into what's going on upstairs.
Kidnapping
You
is
know
not that
something's
hard.
a little fishy.
I'm sure they could be kidnapping these people. Easy peasy. I could do it in my sleep.
I bet you do.
Well, I mean, we are due for a good group kidnapping, but, you know, we gotta finish this up first.
Yes.
What say we get Nagel?
Yes, we should go to the top. Yes.
No, I mean, if he's not here, let's kidnap him.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh.
Can we kidnap him and burn his place down?
Yes. But first get the money.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Lovely.
All right.
Okay.
Good
You
plan.
continue-
Good plan. Good plan.
Love when a
You-
plan comes together.
Is anyone taking the time to investigate that vial with the vapor coming from it?
The smoke one?
The smoke one, yes.
Correct. All right, go ahead and give me a presence check that.
20.
20. So opening it up. You very quickly open it up and just get a little bit of the vapor that comes out, like the tendril of it that comes out, and you sniff it real quick. And you immediately start to have that gag reflex, and you shut it real quick. This is essentially what you'd imagine a makeshift stink bomb.
Ugh.
Ooh.
This will be handy.
And you continue up.
Yup.
Yes.
And you get to as you start to make your way up, this machine louder and louder as you do, to the point where it's almost deafening. You at this point you can't even hear the person standing behind you yelling up the stairs. Theros, you still in the front?
Sure. Yeah.
As you crown the top of the stairs, you see this mechanism in the center, maybe about 10 feet long, about 4 feet high. On one end there's an opening. And it looks like a goblin is being pushed out of it. And it around it there's lots and lots of blood. There's blood and guts and just total carnage. On the back end of this, there's some smoke coming from the top, fire spouting from the back a little, just like little jets of like maybe about 3 or 4 inches out the back, like an exhaust, and a pile of either unconscious or dead human bodies behind it. You watch as this giant lumbering creature, 2 or 3 times and 4 times the bulk of what a normal goblin would look like, grabs this just rotund man who's covered in pockmarks, and his face has this giant, like, super red, bulbous, alcoholic nose, and he starts to put him into the back end of this machine. Not a word is said, but you can see blood spraying out of the back. And as he does, and you hear this grinding sound as if whatever this thing is doing is grinding up the body, out of the front, another goblin emerges.
Is this giant goblin, by chance, wearing glasses?
This giant goblin is not wearing glasses.
So this is not Boss Man.
This is not Boss Man. However, Karg, at this point, has just finished dumping the boy on the top of the pile, and the giant creature is going down to grab the boy. And he looks up and he meets eye contact with you, Theros. And as he does, Törn, can you roll a d6 for me?
Uh-oh.
1. So while I am getting these gobos ready to roll, I need you guys all to roll a d6 and add your agility. Anything higher than a 6. No, a 6. 5.
4.
That with a 4. Anybody else with a 4? 3.
I got a 3.
All 3. Jeez. All right. Törn. And there's. Awesome. So, I'll say you got it to the point of the stairs where at least you guys aren't bottlenecked, and you all can kind of get up to the top of the stairs. Would anybody not want to be out front? Well, I guess it's not really a question to ask you guys, because I feel like none of you would want to be out front. But I would imagine Gotven and Theros at least took the lead, and then the rest of you squishier folk. That I'm sure you're climbing up the wall.
Oh, yes.
Gotven, you have objection?
Nope.
Good. All right. So.
How long did my levitation last? Is it out of?
How long does levitation last?
I think
It said.
Was it Lucifier's levitation?
Yeah.
It's presence plus
plus
D10.
D10 rounds, but I don't know.
Presence plus D10. So what's your presence? Well, that would have been, even at the max, that would have been a minute plus whatever your presence was. So like a minute and a half at the most.
Okay, so it'd be
so
out.
it's
now.
gone. Yeah. By the time you're walking up the stairs, it's gone.
Okay.
All right. So, first up is the big gobbo. the bastard is going to pull out this this large kind of cleaver and run at you, Theros. I need you to make a agility test for me, please. DR 12.
I got a 4. And I don't have any omens to reroll.
So he is going to... Are you wearing any armor?
I should not. I think I'm wearing light armor.
Okay, so you can roll a d4. On a 3, it counts as a 1, and a 4, it counts as a 2. To negate the damage I'm about to do to you.
1.
So as he swings out and cuts across your midsection, it breaks into your armor a little bit. You're going to take 2 points of damage.
Okay.
Let's see, Karg is going to... She's going to run and flip her wheelbarrow and hide against the wall and hide behind it. Another goblin, or one of the 3 smaller goblins in the room is going to run towards you, Theros, and make a swing with its claw at you. So go ahead and make another agility test for me. And the remaining 2 are going to start to swarm around you, Gotven.
18.
18. So that one, it swipes out and it catches your armor, and your armor manages to hold firm, and the claws of the goblin aren't penetrating. Gotven, I need you to roll me an agility or 2 agility tests, DR 12. I'm sorry, DR 14.
Agility. 16 and no, I can't for that one. And then 7.
7. So the first one, are you wearing any armor?
Light armor.
Okay.
Leather.
So again, right across your leather armor, the nails can't quite dig into it, but the second one kind of gets right into the fold between where the bottom of it and your leather armor pants connect, and hits where your hip bone is. Go ahead and roll a d4 for me. 2. And you are going to take, as the nails rip through your side, you're going to take 1 point of damage from this gobbo. To the top of the round, Gotven, you are up first.
All right, that goblin who just scratched me, I'm gonna smash him with my warhammer.
All right, go ahead and roll.
Pull it down from my shoulder and just whack-a-mole.
Yeah, go ahead and roll a strength test for me.
I'm gonna use my last omen, I think. Yeah, I should. On that, I'm gonna try to reroll it. And I shouldn't have done that. 3.
3. Is that your second roll, or what's the higher of the 2? Because it's more of like a...
Oh, the higher one was 8.
Yeah, 8. Okay. Yeah, you still swing out, and you go to clobber this thing, and it kind of ducks out of the way, and you smack the ground next to it, ending your turn. What would you like to do? They're all kind of bottlenecked a little bit. There's some room to move. You could climb up and around on the ceiling. The ceiling peaks like a steeple almost, where it's like a rounded dome top, or like a rounded steeple top.
Yeah, I would like to get out of the bottlenecky, boop, 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 up the wall. I have... I guess I have 1 dagger left that I can throw at the big old gobbo.
1 dagger to throw at the big old gobbo? Alright, go ahead and roll a presence test for me.
17.
What was it?
17.
17. Go ahead and roll your damage.
2.
2. It is going to negate one of those points of damage. So it'll take 1 point of damage. As you watch it, and similar to the hide of the other goblins, it seems a little bit tougher than the other goblins, but it does a little bit less than the damage that you thought it would. Let's see.
Did I hear that Gotven is hurt really bad, or?
I don't know how 2 HP is relative to them. You could always ask.
Yeah, I yelled down like, Gotven, are you okay?
I'm just like rubbing my side. I'm good. Good.
Okay. And then I like sort of say like, if anybody's hurt, please let me know. And I like flash a little like vial that I would like throw at you. So.
All right. Let's go with Mörkret. What would you like to do?
How many other goblins are there besides the big old gobbo?
There's 3 small low gabbos and 1 big O gabbo.
Okay. I'm going to use my scroll of death.
All right. Go ahead and roll a DR12 presence test for me. 16. All right. So what you're gonna do is roll me 4 d10, which I believe is what you get, right? 4 d10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. $34.
34. How would you like to divide up that 34 points of damage?
Not knowing the hit points of any of these things. Let's see. Let's do 20 to the big one.
20 to the big one?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, well, it only negates 1 point of that damage. So you watch as that goblin, you watch as his head he looks around, his eyes start to get big and puffy, and they just straight up explode. And his head bursts, and he falls to the ground dead. You have 14 remaining points of damage. How would you like to spread them out?
I will do 6, 6, and 8.
6, 6, and 8.
Oh wait, no, sorry. Math is no, sorry. I thought that was 24. 14. Let's do. We'll do 4, 4, and 2.
4, 4, and 2 is only
8, 9,
10.
10. Oh.
Math is hard.
Yeah, cannot math.
It's okay.
Got 3 goblins left.
3 goblins. Okay, sorry, I meant
5, 5, 4. I don't know if anyone has taken damage.
6, 6, and 2.
6, 6, and 2. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you watch as this dark energy emanates from you and explodes the first guy, the big Ogabo, right, the bastard, the one other goblin turns and looks up to him, and as he does, his head just explodes as well. The third one, the one that had attacked you, Gotven, looks at its buddy who's right next to it as his face also explodes and he slumps to the floor. The remaining goblin he takes the damage, and you watch as one of his eyes pops out of his socket. His eardrum is bleeding. His where his mouth is starting. There's dribbles of blood coming from it as well. That one's looking really rough as well.
I kept thinking of my total number instead of like the. Yeah.
Törn, it is your turn.
Yes. Okay, so we have one goblin left and Karg.
There's one goblin left and Karg, who is currently hiding behind her wheelbarrow.
Lovely. I'm going to try to cast Tongue of Eris on Karg.
On Karg? Okay, go
If
ahead
it
and
succeeds. Okay, let's see.
go ahead and roll your DR12 presence first.
18.
18, so that will succeed.
All right. Creature of my choice is confused for 10 minutes.
For 10 minutes, okay. You can't quite see if the effect is lasting, but you know Karg is behind there, and you can sense as you're reading this scroll your mind reaching out to hers and connecting, and then shattering whatever reality she thought she had before you pull your mind back, kind of Mind Flayer style. You feel like she's confused. Theros,
Lovely.
what would you like to do?
I'm gonna take my flail and hit the goblin.
All right. So the goblin at this point is like starting to put its hands up and like cower, but go ahead and roll me a strength test, please.
14.
A 14 will hit. Go ahead and roll me damage.
7.
7. As you bring this flail up and bring it down to smash on this goblin's head, its hand's in the way. You watch as the spikes on your flail penetrate through the hands, and the hands connect with the forehead as you just cave in the top of this goblin's skull as the nose, its elongated nose, kind of bends up, and the front portion of the head caves in. You are out of combat.
Ooh. Perfect.
I would like to inspect this room. Like, is there any further up you can get from here?
There's no way to get up. No.
And there's no one else here?
There's no one else here.
What about Glasses Man?
Glasses Man, it's only been a couple hours. I mean, it's still a little past midday when you entered this tower.
He could be in the basement. There was a basement.
There was.
All right, I would like to grab Karg by her apron.
All right,
And,
as you grab her, she kind of, you can tell her eyes, her jaw is kind of a little slack, drooling a little out of the corner of her mouth. She's like looking around as if she doesn't know where she's at.
Hello, we're from the city. We're here to inspect your building. Who's in charge around here?
I think.
Okay, that's great. Well, you can just lead us down there to him. All right?
Oh, you're talking about Nagel.
Sure.
Okay. Nagel lives here, I think.
Okay, now we're getting somewhere. So I'm gonna push her ahead of me, like down the stairs, because the spell doesn't last too long.
All right.
And Mörkret, where did you leave your wheelbarrow?
I didn't take it up the stairs, so it should be on the first floor.
Lovely. So Barrister is guarding it.
Mm-hmm.
And the trap.
And the trap. And the bear trap.
And the trap.
So as you lead yourself, or as Törn is starting to lead Karg. Confused Karg down the stairs. Is anybody else doing anything?
Oh,
The machine is still going and operational, by the way. The grinding is still continuing. Nothing's being pushed in, but it's still it's like if you left a paper cutter on, like one of those giant mechanical paper cutters on. No paper is getting pushed through, but it's still just going thum, thum.
Should we turn it off? Or I don't know if that...
Is there a way to?
Inspecting it and looking around, there is a key.
Oh.
And you turn it, and the machine slowly comes to a halt.
contemplates wanting to take it with her later, but we'll leave it for now.
The key? Oh, take the key.
I meant the machine, but yeah, I guess the key is useful.
You take the key, pocket it, and you head down with Karg down to the first floor, making sure to disarm the bear trap as you do. You go to where the acid is, and you see a little hole there, and Karg looks down. There's a underneath the bookshelf, and after she says that, just kind of blank again.
Look under the bookshelf.
As you wipe away the guts of your dead zombie children, the blood and gore moves away, and you see a small handle, a latch that's on a handle that's on some sort of hatch underneath the bookshelf.
There isn't a ramp into the basement, is there?
Maybe? No?
Is Galgenbeck ADA accessible? Compliant, I should say.
Drool starts to kind of corner of her mouth as she's really thinking about what ADA means.
I was hoping to get pushed in on the wheelbarrow. Oh well, for another day.
I go over and I start cranking it.
Cranking the...
Wasn't there's you said there was like
No. There's the bookshelf is on top of. If you guys were trying to go to the basement, which I don't know if you guys were, if you were trying to go somewhere else, but if you guys were trying to get to the basement, you could either go through that small acid hole, or she's telling you that underneath the bookshelf there's a hatch that goes down into the basement.
Okay.
There you go.
And I heard crank, and I was like,
You just need to move. You guys just need to move the bookshelf, which is easy enough to do. You guys kind of pick it up. Gotven and some of the stronger folks push it out of the way. You guys lift open the hatch and look down. It's an empty cavern, maybe about 10 feet wide, with the exception of a dead body.
Do we recognize them?
Roll a presence check.
I got a 6. Maybe someone else should check.
I'll look.
All right. Yeah. Anybody who wants to give me a presence check can look.
presents.
18.
16.
18. You're not quite familiar just because you're not from Galgenbeck, but that with a 16, you recognize at least the decaying part. You can see bits of the beard as Nagel's father, dead. Yes.
This is the daddy. Daddy's dead. Dad's daddy. Dad's dead.
Nagel nowhere to be seen.
Nagel's not here. But now we know that he's a sham. We could exploit him.
Let's.
Okay.
Is Karg coming out of her,
It hasn't quite been 10 minutes yet because you guys went down there pretty quick, but she seems a little bit more as the confusion is going on, she seems a little bit more like it's coming back.
I think we take her as a prisoner.
Agreed.
Yes, let's do it.
Yes.
And we head back to the alchemy shop.
Okay. You head back.
Does anyone have some rope? Can we tie her up? Toss her in the wheelbarrow?
I have this chain.
Perfect. Alright, we'll chain her up and toss her in the wheelbarrow.
Alright. You chain her up, toss her in the wheelbarrow. You bring the wheelbarrow to the shop. As she does, as you guys are doing so, she eventually comes out of it, looks at you all, realizing that she's kind of fucked at this point, and just kind of sits there in the wheelbarrow, silent for the remainder of the ride. No goblins bother you quite yet. They see Karg and don't bother coming close. The crowd in front of the shop has slowly diminished to maybe a handful or two of patrons. You push through the crowd, open up the door to see a person exchanging money with
Nargle.
Yeah.
I smack it out of their hands.
You walk up, smack it out of their hands, money goes scattering across the floor.
And Gotven collects all the money that scatters across the floor as she does this.
You get a total of 40 silver pieces.
Hell yeah.
This man is a sham. Don't believe him.
He's selling you batshit.
And I should know. I have bats.
All right. Go ahead and roll a presence check for me.
12.
12. He kind of looks at you. He's like, the patron looks at you. What the? And he pulls out. He goes to like start to collect the money and realizes you guys are all taking the money. And he's like, "You guys are all crazy. This is a cure. It's supposed to cure us for being sick and turning into the goblins."
Oh please, your cure doesn't work and you know it.
And not crazy. Batshit.
You look at him from behind the bar, and he starts to reach into his cloak.
Pull out my hammer and drop it on his head.
Before you can, I need everybody to roll me a presence check, please. As Nagel pulls out a small metallic device.
Oof. 5.
14.
15, and Törn?
18.
18. So everybody, unfortunately, except for Theros, can see as he smashes this down, this fog and smoke emanates from where he's standing. You guys all get a quick round on him, if you'd like. To do whatever action you want. I'll start with that and work our way around. Or actually, no, I'm sorry. Gotven wanted to smash with the hammer, so go ahead and smash with the hammer.
Okay. Aw, damn it. 4 to hit.
4 to hit. You miss, seeing the smoke.
Damn it.
In a flash.
That's fine.
Törn, what would you like to do?
That's death.
Go ahead and roll a DR 12 presence check for me, please.
Ooh, I failed, but I would like to use an omen.
Please
to
do.
Reroll that shit.
Please do.
Cool. Okay, 19 now.
19. Go ahead and roll your 3 or 4d10 for me, please.
42. Whoa. 37.
37. All right. So you have 37 points of damage that you can spread. How would you like to spread it? There's Nagel, there's Karg, there's the patron, and then the 5 of you.
And the people outside.
Within 30 feet, I'll say you could get...
And probably goblins in the alley.
Within 30 feet, I'll say you could get three people outside and a goblin in the alley.
I will start with Nagel.
Okay. How many points are you dumping into him?
10.
10. Nagel dies instantly.
On to Karg.
Alright. How many points? 7. You watch as Carv's face kind of Indiana Jones starts to shrivel and decay, and it gets to like the point where she looks like a 90-year-old lady, and she's like, it's still breathing.
Gross. Can I give her more?
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Okay. You know what? No, this is fine. That's a good enough. Yeah, okay. I will go to a goblin in the alley and give that guy 6.
6. Goblin in the alley. You don't know whether or not he's dead, but necrotic energy does something to him.
Okay.
And how much do you have left?
14.
14. You have patron and the 5 of you and 3 people outside.
3 people outside.
Go ahead, give some to that. Just not a lot.
I'll give 2 to the patron.
Okay.
Here. Actually, I'll give 2 each to the patron in here and everyone outside.
So that'll give 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 7 left.
I will take 4.
Okay.
And then I'll give 1 each to everyone who hasn't been hit recently. I think we're all fine. Do Vat Theros Mörkret because I think Gotven got slashed.
Okay.
I
So you
have
guys all
healing potions.
take 1 point of death damage as you do.
Sorry.
The patron and the 3, you dumped 2 into each, you said, kind of stumble and fall. Their arms, they look really, really bad. Their arms covered in necrotic tendrils going up and through their arms. Their eyes kind of bleeding a little.
Oops.
The market, or the shop, is yours to do as you wish.
Village.
Alright. You receive from looting Nagel. You receive... Where's he at?
Also, sorry.
90 silver from Nagel. You have the shovel. You find or you take the shovel that belongs to Karg. You have pretty much all the Goblin Cure that you need. Samples and whatever you want, as much as you need. You can give it to patrons. You can let them pillage as you want. But ultimately, you came here. You got what you needed for. You figured out the root cause of the goblin outbreak in Galgenbeck. Is there any last things you'd like to do?
I push the door open to the patrons of Galgenbeck and I say, "This shop is yours to do what you please. I will let you know that the cure is made of bat poop. But if you want it, you can have it. Vat out." And I let them go.
And as the crowd that remains, and you hear kind of a roar as you look behind, you hear or you watch one person run off into the distance and gather what looks like a small crowd and start rushing back in. And as they essentially completely pillage and destroy this home from the inside, taking everything, there are a handful of goblins in a crate that pop out and start fighting some of them, but they end up beating them back and killing them. Some of them just downing cure after cure. You take the handfuls of cures that you have, and under the cover, or as dusk is beginning to fall, leave Galgenbeck for the estate of Jotun. And that is where we will end this trial of the damned. Thank you all for watching. Before we do, I'm going to have Noura, our guest, go ahead and roll me a d4, please.
Ooh, okay. I rolled a 1. I'm sorry for whatever that means.
All right, cool. So I get to do something fun with the book. I need you to roll me a d66. So roll a 6.
Mm-hmm.
Or a d6.
5. And then
5.
another one?
Yes,
6.
another one.
So 56.
56. From the calendar of Nechrubel, the nameless scriptures, transcribed by Anuk Schlager the monk, Psalm 5, verse 6. And the last king and the last queen shall wither to dust. Their wretched courts were devoured by wolves. One of the 7 miseries to befall this realm has been unleashed upon the world. And that is where we went our story tonight. Thank you all for watching.
Ooh, dear.
Please make sure to tune in on Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for Adventures in Cinder Hollow, where my friend Guilty down here and I will be playing some lovable critters with a few other cast members that you've seen on the show.
Something just a little different.
Yeah, something just a little bit different than this. But thank you all for watching. Have a great evening, and until next time, see ya.
Yay!
Bye.